2, 1.
All right, everybody, we are live. So, internet, you just better look out. We are back. So, hey, thanks for coming. Whoops, we had a little hiccup there. Looks like Ronwin went blank on us. We'll get her back.
Looter,
No
she
problem.
faded in. That was awesome.
That was pretty slick. So, while I'm kind of doing the welcome scene, y'all are gonna you're gonna watch me kind of
Juggle.
fiddle around just a minute. No big deal. I'm a highly trained expert. So, welcome. My name is Scott, also known as Wily Hobbit across the Twitches and Twitters, and you are hanging out in our little Monday night new game of D&D called Mysteries in the Dalelands. Poor Paige, I got her moving all around in circles. Okay, so what we'll do here is go through some quick channel announcements, and then we'll get into more streamer or more game related stuff. So join us Wednesday nights at 7 for our other D&D game, Into the, what is it, Dragon of Icespire Peak. Had to think about that for a minute. Used to be Into the Borderlands. Kind of a new campaign. I think we're about 8 sessions into that, and that's going well. Nobody's died more than once, so that's pretty cool. So come check that out on Wednesdays at 7, and then Sundays at 1 p.m., all times Eastern, of course. We play Pathfinder in the original, or one of the original old D&D settings of Greyhawk. And it's, as our DM likes to say, it's kind of our love letter to Greyhawk, so a pretty cool game. So, quick rundown of the house rules if you're not familiar with how we roll here. If a player rolls a nat 20 on an attack roll, a critical hit, they automatically score maximum damage, which is the full dice total that they're permitted plus their mod, and then they get to roll their damage die again. So we want to make sure a crit really feels like a crit. You can imbibe a potion as a bonus action, and we like to roll actual dice here, so you're not going to see any roll 20 clicking and dragging or D&D Beyond dice displays or anything. We use the actual shiny math rocks here. So, and a lot of it's theater of the mind, and I try to use some graphics and some things to kind of help your imagination a little bit. So if you care to help the party, and I'm going to drop some info here in chat, if you want to donate $5 or 500 bits, you can give the party or the DM, your choice, a +2 to any D20 roll. And the cool thing about that, the way we do that, is you get to use that after you've rolled your D20 and found out the outcome. So if you're just a whisker short of having a success and +2 would help you, you get to add +2 and create a success. So for $5 or 500 bits, you can do that. Currently, the players, I believe, have 4 of those in their pool. Any player can use them basically for anything other than a death save. And then if you wish to donate 1,000 bits or $10 in a shot, you can give the party or the DM, your choice, a reroll of a d20. So that's pretty cool too. Pretty OP little feature there. So, and we don't currently have any of those in the pool, but I'm sure they'll be coming. So that's what you can do to kind of affect the game as far as that goes. So let's go around the horn now and let's meet all of our players. And then we've got kind of a special moment here. We got a hold of a fella to do some art for us, and the art is done. And so we're gonna check it out here. So let's start with we'll go in the upper left corners. You're looking at the screen. We'll start with Gears. Dave, tell us who you are and what your character's all about.
I am Dave Wilson. My handle pretty much anywhere is Hey Wilson. I am a document management and records management technical architect by day. By night, I play Gears, a rather large, brooding, hulking figure who hasn't quite been fully revealed visibly yet. But maybe this session we'll get to see more of what's under the hood.
All right, very good. Mara, tell us about Ronvin.
Oh, I'm playing Ronvin. Ronvin is the baby of the party. She is a naive, sheltered ASMR artificer who is from the Dalelands, but a different part of the Dales. And I keep little human people alive all day for my job. And I never sat on one before. So that's why I'm not a babysitter, right?
See what you did there. Yeah, pretty clever. Very nice.
I always said we're not daycare because we don't take care of days, and we're not babysitters because we don't sit on babies. You never ever get to sit in daycare.
Yeah, so you just keep short people alive. Very good. And I'm sure that their families appreciate that very much. So,
They're
excellent.
better. They're military.
They darn better. That's right. All right, Manny, what's up, man?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Manny at Growed Up Geek on the socials. I am a chef by day, and at night I am a dungeon master. And tonight I will be playing Algernon Antano, a Chultan wizard on a informal study abroad program.
Nice. Very good. All right, let's cross the great gap in the center there and go over and meet Fragile.
I'm Mike Hart. I go by Buckethead Clunk on my gaming stuff. I am Fragile, who is she's kind of written as a fallen Aasimar, but she is actually an Aasimar of the Raven Queen, and she is out and about in the world looking for adventures, looking for anything that's emotionally charged, rather it's sorrow, joy, anger. And she just likes to live in the moment. So the biggest thing that gets her off is people destroying memories and people who are boring. So she just does not want to live a boring life.
Yeah. Well, I'll do my best as your dungeon master to see that doesn't happen. Yeah, I don't want you to be bored there, Fragile. All right. Very good. Very good. All right, Rue. Andrew, tell us about Rue.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrew, also known as Fellowship of the Tables, and I'm playing Ru Shahar, who is a human merchant with a very sweet tooth, apparently.
Apparently, yes, likes cupcakes. Very nice, yes. And then last but certainly not least, up in the upper right corner as you're looking at the overlay, Miss Paige, tell us about Calavera.
Hey, I'm Paige, also known on Twitter as Keyline Cutie Pie. During the day, I work as a lab scientist, a biologist, and Monday nights I am playing Calavera, who is a Fire Ganassi cleric who's coming along to make sure that none of you guys die.
That would
fine.
never
Nothing
happen.
will go wrong.
That would
It's
never
okay.
never happen.
Oh.
See my halo? Oops, it's off screen. Yeah. Well, too bad. All right, very good. Well, I'm gonna do something technical here, so everybody hold your breath and wish me luck here. But I did a thing to kind of celebrate our new character art, and so in a moment you're gonna see on the stream a little slideshow of each character's art, and so that is scrolling hopefully. And I'm going to put out a little shout out for our artist. Let's see, I think it's this. It is not that. What is Rack's full?
Rikolai, Rakolai.
There we go. I forgot what I named the shout out. But by now you should be seeing a little slideshow of our character art. My shout outs are not coming out, so alright, well we'll have to. His Twitter is now in the chat. There we go. So I had a shout out done up for him, but I can't seem to find it. I didn't write it down, and so that's what happens when you are 51 years old and try to do technology. But is everybody seeing the slideshow? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
On stream? Okay, very good. Cool. So, and I did get the character art on the overlay, but the overlay background is so busy that the character art doesn't appear as nicely as I'd like, so I did that little slideshow bit. And so we'll just kind of let that run and let that spin throughout the game. But that'll have the name and the class and the artwork for each character. So thank you very much, Rakolai. I believe his given name is Andrew. And man, he does some really, really great art. So if you need a good artist, his Twitter is there in chat. And I will get that shout out fixed. And so off we go. So I believe that your friend and mine, Fragile, is going to give us a little recap of what occurred in episode 1. So whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. Well, the The valiant adventurers of the Dagger Falls campaign all met on a beautiful summer morning in various locations around Dagger Falls. Calavara and Ronvin met at the Teshford Arms over some bacon, eggs, and some mint tea. Rue and Algernon, they met on the road to Dagger Falls, and they had a good long walk because they came in from the west, but they had to enter through the east gate. And ironically enough, they also seemed to bond over some good food. Looks like we got a little theme going on. For Geely and Gears, they met at a inn called the Dagger Reforged, and food was minorly involved. Gears was getting some food, and Fragili was introduced to him by the owner of the place named Mr. Willows. And their bond kind of developed more because Fragili's a bit eccentric and decided that Gears is her new best friend. So through some sparring matches, some dagger throwing, and the consumption of cupcakes and minty concoctions, the group found themselves quickly bonding. And then through various means, we all ended up outside Lord Barathol Cormial's keep, and were invited in to help him look for and track down a thief named Spurnick that had pilfered a treasured tome from the Lord's own library, and whose partner Tybeam had already been tried and hung for the foul murder of a local deputy constable named Micah. The group discovered that two books in the collection, a book called The History of the North and the Lex Geographia, had chapters related to Saxon druids in the Dragonstein Mountains that were either worshipping dragons or believed themselves able to enslave dragons. But there seems to be some kind of common denominator there with that the group's going to try and look into, because they had both been ripped out of the book, and false histories have been put in their place. So tonight we're going to continue the adventures of the six, and aided by the valiant Sparrow, Miss Penny Swoops, as they seek to bring the foul thief Spurnick to justice.
All right, thank you very much. And those were sects of druids.
Yes,
I just wanted to get that updated clearly there. Yeah. All right, is everybody ready to play some D&D? Yeah, different campaign. Yeah, we haven't got to that stage yet. We don't know each other that well yet. So, the scene this evening, and it is actually evening time. You met with Lord Cormeril. You were summoned to the Lord's Keep in Dagger Falls. I believe it was about 6 p.m., if I recall. And you met with Lord Cormeril, and he filled you in on all of the information that he had on the situation. And Fragili did a very nice job of bringing that all together for us. So bottom line is there's a thief out there, the partner or accomplice to Tybeam, who's been hanged. When you murder one of the constabulary deputies or the constable's deputies, you swing from the gallows. They don't take their law enforcement lightly here in Dagger Falls, as he explained to you last week. And so Algernon and I think Ronvin and Fragili went to the library itself to scope that out, and found that the Lord has quite an extent. Fragili didn't. Somebody else went. Who was that? I think there was 3 and 3. It was Rue. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, so the 3 of them did get to explore the Lord's personal library. Spurnick and Tybeam had been hired about 4 months ago as scribes in the kind of the main library at the Lord's Keep, but they had been caught sneaking out of the Lord's personal library. And so you were all about to go down to the scribes' hall where the scribes work, and also inspect the room that Spurnick and Tybeam were staying in. So Lord Cormeril looks at you all. So which would you like to see first? Do you want to talk to the other scribes, or would you like to go to their room and see how they were living? We didn't touch anything as far as moving anything around. It's all the way it was when all this went down.
I'm pretty good at looking.
I say we go talk to the scribes that they may know more about the men than what an empty room can tell us.
Okay.
Well, it's also kind of late, so maybe you're right. We should go talk to them first, and then we can still up. The room doesn't care how late it is.
Indeed. Yeah, we can do that then. Yeah, pretty good. So he leads you through the Lord's Keep, and it's not, palatial by any stretch of the imagination. It's nice, it's clean, polished stone floors. It's well appointed, but it's nothing, fancy. You are, after all, out on the edge of the wilds, and kind of is what it is. But it's timber and stone, and very clean and nice. And you wind your way through, and he takes you into this large room where there are, I think there's 5 folks, quills, paper, and you can hear the scratching and the writing, the sound of quill on paper, and some even on parchment as they're busy, and they all kind of look up and smile and nod as the Lord enters, and he smiles and nods. Feel free, just move about the room and talk to anyone you like. Lads, we brought some folks here to help us. We're going to try to track down old Spurnick. And they all kind of get this ashen look on their face when reminded of the recent happenings of just a couple of days ago. So if you would, please just cooperate and answer any of their questions. That would be lovely. I'll leave you to your questions, and he kind of steps out in the hallway. You see, again, there's these 5 different scribes. They're all sitting at their own writing tables. Looks like you could probably put 4 around each table, so there are 2 of these tables, and they're kind of split between the 2. And they just kind of sit and look at you. What can we help you with? One of the younger ones, young man, red hair, very very pale skin. What can we help you with? What do you want to know?
What are you working on?
Oh, well, it depends on which one you talk to, but mostly just transcribing records, translating older tomes, a lot of historical things, all for the Lord.
For his library?
Yes. Some of these are for records. Some of these are for the Daggerdale government offices. Just depends.
Al's just gonna so I guess it's kind of look around and see there's just scrolls and books just kind of stacked up everywhere.
Yeah, each
kind of running through doing their.
Each scribe has a few books and things stacked near them, and then they have whatever they're working on, whether they're working off of like a piece of paper or out of a book. A couple of them are writing in ledgers. Looks like maybe they're scribing financial information, things of that nature. It just depends on the person. But yeah, it looks run-of-the-mill, stuff that you've seen in libraries in your travels, Algernon.
He's just going to kind of blend into the background and just kind of start, I guess, kind of leafing through the stacks of things in their respective piles, just to see if anything kind of strikes his fancy.
Sure.
Or draws his attention.
You see some notes that are being scribed into documents, things like pronouncements, information about maybe taxes that are going to be levied, all that sort of stuff. Holy cow, Craniodad is in the house. Thank you for some bits, buddy. Cranio, let us know. For every 500, you can donate a +2 D20 roll to the party or myself, or if you want to take 1,000 of that and give a dice reroll to the party or myself, and then a +2, however you want to break that up, that'd be great. So at any rate, it's kind of mundane stuff, Algernon, that you're seeing, mostly government type documents, pronouncements, transactions, things of that nature.
Were there any other books that these two, Tybeam and Spurnick, worked on?
Oh, yeah, no, they were doing the same kind of work we were, that, as far as I'm aware of.
The books that they did work on, have the others been checked to see if they were also
Yes.
fake?
Yes,
somehow?
the Lord Cormeril had us go through a number of books that had been pulled out in his private library, and the only issues we saw were the two books that you've probably already seen.
So no books on dragons.
He kind of looks at you. No books on dragons. Everything we're working on is
Sad.
mostly local history, things like that. There's a lot of stuff about when the Zents used to occupy Dagger Falls a long time ago, 100 years or more ago.
Did the Lord have them transcribe these books, or did they do it on their own time?
They, from all I know, they worked here in the library. I don't know what they did in their off time. They kept to themselves. We didn't really talk to them much. They would work and they would. In fact, they usually didn't even eat here in the keep with the rest of us. They would take their meals. And he looks at his other table mate. Where did they go to eat all the time? They were talking about it. The other one looks at him. Oh, that was the Red Rock Tavern. They used to talk about Kessla's place outside of Dagger Falls.
And what were they like when they were working? Did they talk much? Were they pretty much focused on their work?
They kept to themselves. They didn't associate with us much. I've only been here probably 4 months. We've all been here a lot longer. They just went about their business very quiet. And I would probably more than quiet. They were unfriendly. We would invite them to do things, and they just wanted no part of that. Always kept to themselves. Thought it was kind of weird.
How did they get the job here?
You'd have to ask Lord Cormeril. He just brought them in and introduced them as new scribes, and and he points out to where each desk where Tybeam and Spurnick were working and seated. Feel free to look around. That's where they worked. We haven't touched anything.
Oh yes, let's
Besides-
go look.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Shinies.
What was she? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, while everyone's talking and stuff, Cavalier is just kind of watching people. Does she get the sense that everyone's being truthful right now?
Go ahead and roll me an insight.
I would love to roll an insight.
That'd be awesome.
That is a 13.
Okay, so as you're watching maybe you're kind of paying attention to their eye contact, or do they seem fidgety or fiddly, and they've all stopped what they're working on, and they're all paying very close attention, and they seem to be pretty straightforward. You don't see any side-eyeing of each other. The one asked the other one what the name of that tavern was very plainly in front of you, wasn't trying to hide anything. They seem to be on the up and up.
Can I search where they were working?
Certainly, yes. Help yourself. The table, you can kind of lift it, and you can look in their desk if you wish. By all means.
Absolutely. She never seen where a scribe works, so she wants to see all of it.
Yeah. Each area where the tables are has the tabletop can lift, and it has a little mechanism that you can prop the tabletop up. And if you lift where Tybeam was sitting, you'll see there's blank parchment, a couple of sealed inkwells, a few quills. There's also a stack of blank paper in there, a few scroll tubes, and there's one item in there that strikes you maybe as a little bit odd. You pull it out, and it's a V-shaped bit of metal with very pointy ends on it, and kind of a circle in the center. Is anyone here familiar with cartography? Like, roll me
Yes.
intelligence. Anybody who wants to kind of figure out what is that.
Oh, yeah. Fragile has no idea.
Okay.
12.
18.
Yeah, Algernon, you might be the most familiar just because you're probably the most bookish of the group, the most related to academia. This looks to be a pillar compass, something that you would use to, like you'd put one end down and you might spin it to make a circle, or you'd use it to measure distance on a map, use it for mapping.
This?
As
Yes,
Like,
one of those.
so, having spent a life in academia, Algernon kind of looks over a scribe's table, and to him, does it look like it would be everything would be set out like a scribe would, or does it look like somebody who might be pretending to be a scribe?
No, it looks like scribe stuff. All those are typical supplies you see. It's not arranged to look a certain way. You know, it's a setup for somebody that's scribing. And you can see on top of the desk, you know, the stacked near the desk where they were working, you can see, you know, other documents that they were probably working on, again, like legal notices, transactions, pronouncements, things of that nature. All pretty mundane, boring stuff. And same thing goes for the things that you see in Spurnick's work area.
So is there oh, dang it, I nudged the cable again. So is there anything hidden that I can find? You know, is there anything that might have dropped between something, or seriously?
Yeah,
Whatever.
sure. Make a.
So something that
Go ahead and make an investigation roll. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, that's a 15.
Okay. With a 15, you're lifting under things, tapping to make sure there's no false bottoms, nothing taped, or, well, tape isn't probably a thing, but nothing adhered to the bottom, nothing between any cracks. It's everything that you can see is there in plain sight.
All right, no hidden shinies. This is all pretty
Nope.
pretty boring.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. A couple of the scribes have kind of gone back to work.
Now, who picks out which scribe works on which work? Like, would someone have told them to work on those particular books that they were doing, or did they volunteer for it?
The official recorder of Dagger Falls and Daggerdale assigns all the work we're working on. Yes. Gable is his name. Very nice half-elven gentleman. Been with Lord Cormero for a number of years. Lives here in the keep.
So it was just happenstance that they worked on those particular books.
Which books do you mean?
I looked at Algernon. What were those books again?
The ones about druids and a.
Oh, those were the books that they stole. Yeah, they weren't working on those down here. We never saw those books in here. Yeah, those are the books that were stolen, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and then they forged copies of those books, but they weren't doing that in here. Yeah, we never saw those. The Gable, he assigns all of our work, just per what needs to be done.
Able.
He's the official scribe.
Somebody should probably remember that name.
There's-
Right, and where would we find him?
Lord Cormero can round him up for you. Yeah. He works for the Lord. He serves at the pleasure of Lord Cormero, and he's the official scribe for Dagger Falls and Daggerdale.
So where does the Lord get all his pretty books from? I mean, normally you would think all these books would be like in a big town in a big library, but we're kind of in a smaller place.
Well,
so
he's-
he has all these books.
He's from Cormier, Suzelle, the capital of Cormier. That's very, very far south of here. So he probably just brought some of those books up here to fill his library in the keep. I don't even know. He kind of leans in. I don't even know if he reads half of them, honestly. He's more of a
I was wondering about
more of a politician than a
I've covered
scholar.
Al's ears.
that.
More of a politician than a scholar.
But he had some pretty nice books. They even had some artificial books. Now,
You got to go in the library?
Did you overhear them talking to each other, or anything, or were they walking places they weren't supposed to be walking? I mean, they were kind of weird, so maybe somebody paid attention.
We heard they got caught coming out of Lord Cormeral's offices, and that's what we heard.
Did they meet anybody? I mean, they didn't go to the tavern with you guys, but did they meet anybody else?
They all kind of look at each other and shrug. We don't go out too much. You could tell these guys are all pretty pale.
Any female company?
No.
They're like some of the servant girls?
No, we didn't see them much outside of the time they spent in here.
Gum showing totally, didn't work out. So yeah, Ronwin definitely wants to check out their rooms and see if she can find something there. It's like foiled again.
Yeah, when you're all done, you can. What's that? Go ahead. What's that?
They don't seem like they've got much.
Well, they gave us some. Because we know now that they would go down to the one tavern, so that's somewhere we can check out. Yeah, we should.
Did
probably
they go there, or did they refuse to go there?
I thought that was where they normally went to get lunch. I think was what was said.
Because they didn't eat with everybody else.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't go with everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took their meals outside of the keep.
Rock Tavern.
Red Rock Tavern. Yeah.
Wonder if they also stayed there.
Do y'all
Well,
stay?
they do
in
have
the
rooms
keep,
here.
or-
Yeah, I think we were told that they have rooms to stay here.
Yeah, they stayed here. We all have rooms here. They shared a room here.
If they have another room at the tavern, that might be suspicious.
All right, let's go check out their rooms. Signal whoever.
Yeah, you can let Lord Cormeral know. He just kind of went out in the hall to let you be with these scribes on your own.
Just gonna kind of duck my head outside. My lord, we are ready to go see the rooms of the men.
Hey, very well then.
In Mr. Gabriel when we're done.
Oh yeah, my chief scribe. Sure. He doesn't know any more. He doesn't know any more than I do, but you're welcome to talk to him. Yeah, I'll have him meet us up there. And he, as he's leading you down the hall, further away from the kind of the business end of the keep, you get a sense that maybe you're headed into a dormitory section. He stops a staff member and has a quick word, and then continues on. Here, let me show you where their room was. And he takes you into a different hallway. Looks like maybe even newer construction, but not as well appointed, a little more Spartan. And he unlocks a door, and you're in a hallway with several matching wooden doors. He unlocks a door and holds it open. I just go on in there and have a look around. I didn't move anything other than to conduct my own search, but I left everything where it was. So.
And so they both stayed in this room together?
Yeah, it's not a big room. It's probably 15 by 15. There's bunk beds on one end. So there are 2 beds there. There's just a small desk, a couple of small dressers, and a couple of chairs for sitting.
Okay.
Let's search.
If you recall, I told you I found my 2 books in a travel sack with all this other gear that was laying on the desk when I came in. Remember, I showed you all that back in the audience chamber there. But yeah, feel free to have a look around.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is investigation?
Yes. What is it you are
22.
What are you investigating, Ronvin?
I wanna look around and see if there's any hidden places that they might have stashed something, or something might have gotten left behind, something that's not in plain view.
Okay. Yeah. So you look around. The bed is, the beds are made. The desks have nothing, or the desk has nothing on them. Neither do the dressers. There's nothing sitting on top of the dressers. They have drawers. It's just a kind of a bare room. Are you going to search deeper than looking around the room?
Yeah, I was gonna search for hidey holes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna search for hidey holes. That's
All right. What was your investigation roll?
22.
22. So you're, opening drawers and tapping things and trying to pry weird things open and looking around, and you notice in one of the dressers, inside there's a false panel on the side of it that you can pop out, and when you do so, Lord Cormeral's like, what do you got there? I see that's got the dresser's been kind of fiddled with there, hadn't it? And laying there, folded nicely, you see some kind of black and purple fabric. It's like two little piles of.
Right? Does it look like it's? Does it look like it's wrapped around something? It's like square. Is it round?
Nah, it looks
Is
folded in a.
A baggie.
No, it looks like it's folded clothing of some sort.
Okay. So she's gonna use her gloved hand and just pinch it a little bit and lift it up.
Yeah.
So she doesn't touch it, and just try and figure out what it is.
Sure. Yeah. So you lift it up, and it starts to kind of come unfolded, and it's definitely some clothing. Okay, some fabric, and it's black and purple, and you pick one up. You can see it's got something kind of emblazoned on the front of it. It's like a tunic. And it has a pair of breeches that
Do
match.
I know what it is?
Yeah, if you unfold it fully,
It's probably
it looks like something of like a dragon. It looks, if you had to guess, it looks like ritual wear or ceremonial wear. And each tunic has
Like a dragon insignia.
looks like it has like a dragon, a stylized sort of dragon symbol,
Okay.
sewn into it. Yeah, very kind of fine. It's nice.
So looking at the Lord. Does this look familiar? Was that something that was in your dragon book?
It does. I'll be damned. You know what that is? That's the same insignia of that cult of the dragon that was in the one book. I'll be damned. That's interesting.
What do you know about the book, my lord? Have you read it? Are you familiar with it?
I'm not, no. I'm not much of a deep reader, you might say. Yeah, more those books are so old and dusty, and I'm more of a contemporary interest fella myself. Yeah.
Knowledge is eternal, my lord. He says, kind of offhandedly.
Kind of looks at you, like he'd never thought of that before.
Is the insignia something that would be kind of well recognized to somebody who would possibly have studied dragons? Are there cults associated with that?
Just from what he recognized it immediately that it matched in the book. It matched that. It's a symbol that he saw in the book. And remember that section that had been taken out of the forgeries, left out of the forgeries, but it was in the originals about the cult of the dragon.
Scale.
There was one about a sect
Circle of the scale.
of druids called the Circle of the Scale, but there was also a section in the other book about the cult of the dragon.
Oh.
There was reference to a cult of a dragon, the cult of the dragon, and that's where he recognizes that symbol from.
What do you know about this cult, my lord?
He shakes his head. Tried. I know nothing of a cult. I'm too concerned with, governing an entire Dale.
For somebody unfamiliar and unconcerned, you seem to recognize the patch on the roof.
I do, because it's the part of the book that the scribes pointed out that had been missing from the forgeries. So we looked at the originals, and that's where we seen it. Yeah.
I was wondering if you could answer a question very quickly.
Of course.
So we asked, and it seems like you're the person to hire these two, and I was wondering why it was that you picked them to work here.
Oh right, that'd be Gable. He can answer that. He's on his way up. Yeah, I approve the hiring, but I don't choose who gets hired. I just approve that we can hire. If that makes sense. I wouldn't know a good scribe from a bad one really. And he kind of, yeah. He seems almost a little bothered that people are discovering he has this library and it's not really a really well-read, scholarly fellow. Like you've gotten a peek behind the curtain.
You're gonna shame him into doing his summer reading program.
That's nice.
We'll come
The
back.
largest book.
We come back. He has a stack of book reports that
Right,
he's written.
Yeah. Algernon is like going to take over the headmaster duties at the Lord's Keep. Nice.
And rewarded with a personal pan pizza coupon.
Cedar Point discount coupon. So, as you all are kind of just trying to piece together the puzzle that's been laid out before you, an older-looking half-elven gentleman walks in with a cane. He's bespectacled. Still looks to be rather fit and trim. He's not all hunched over like ancient, venerable looking, but he's definitely sliding down the back slope, if you know what I mean. And he walks in. My lord, ladies and gentlemen, good to see you. I'm Gable. I understand you have some questions for me. Very soft spoken. He probably spends half his days whispering in the scribe's hall. He kind of looks over his spectacles at the clothes. Oh, what did you find there? That's interesting.
What do you know? He's the chief scribe.
Yeah.
What do you know about this cult? You strike me as potentially a learned fellow in a house devoid of it.
He looks at that's the livery of the cult of the dragon that's referenced in the Book of the North, I think. Something that had two entries in there that they didn't put in the forgery. One about some druids who worship dragons or something. Yeah. And then this cult of the dragon. You know, we're not far from Dragon Spine Mountains. You know, there's been over the centuries, there have been many worms come down from there. Some groups of people worship them.
Do you by any chance have any other books about druids who like dragons, or dragons on Dragonspire P? Maybe they didn't see.
He has this like leather apron on, and he fiddles around inside, and he pulls out a pipe, and he packs it with some kind of pipe weed, lights it up, and thinks. Cormeral's just looking at him like, got this look on his face like, I've told you, I don't like you smoking that thing in here, kind of look.
Yeah, it's not good for the bugs.
And Gable just doesn't even pay him any attention. You know, I don't think we have any other information here in either the Lord's Library or the General Library here on druidic dragon worshipping sects. and certainly nothing about any cults of any dragons.
What I just don't understand is how these two guys would know that the Lord has this specific book, any other book. How would they know that? That they would come here to know that they would find this specific book here?
Good question. Good
I
question.
don't know how. Does the Lord have a list of the book he keeps? Does he talk to somebody back home that knows what books he keeps? Are we bragging about how many books we got? I don't know.
We have a catalog with all the titles in the main library. I don't know that the Lord keeps such a thing. And he looks over, and Cornwell's like, I don't. Like I said, they look nice on my shelves. Some of them have been helpful learning some things, but I don't read much of them. Yeah.
Well, where did you get those 2 books from?
He kind of sits and thinks. I don't know. I don't rightly know. They might have been here when I got here. I might have brought them from Suzale. I don't rightly know.
More importantly, where'd you get the 2 scribes from, Gabriel? Were they referenced to you? Did they reference themselves?
Gable looks over.
Were they recommended to you by somebody?
Gable looks over. Yes, my lady. They showed up one day. Oh, about 4 months ago, was it? And the Lord looks at him and kind of nods. And yeah, we had put out notice throughout the Dale that we were looking for at least 2 good scribes. And they came over. They said from the east. And they showed me what they could do. We gave them a little bit of work to work on, and they seemed fine. And so we hired them.
No references?
No.
And who has access to the catalog?
Oh, anyone who wants to look through the library, you can look through the catalog. Yeah.
Do you have to sign in to use the library?
Yeah, you check in, and we usually
Facebook.
keep someone with you or where we can see you, so things like this don't happen. But they didn't steal from the main library. They snuck into the Lord's library.
No, but the main library would have the list of the books on it, so that if we know who came to look at the catalog, we would be able to maybe see who would have found out what books he got.
Well, but the books that these 2...
Because else they would have come here on a lark.
These 2, the books they were interested in were in the Lord's personal collection. They're not in the catalog in the main library.
That would have been too easy. So, anything else we know about these 2? What was their names again?
Tybeam.
Spurnick and Tybeam.
Yep.
Spurnick and Tybeam. Right. So, did you ever see them hanging out with any of the other servants or people from outside the keep?
He thinks for a couple minutes. No, they worked. They worked hard, did good work, and they were in their room, and but they never took their meals here. Thought that was kind of strange, but the food here isn't the best. And he kind of looks over at Cormeril, who just kind of rolls his eyes.
So I'm guessing the food at the tavern is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. He sets down his cup of water. Yes, quite good. Red Rock, I believe, they used to frequent. It's just outside the east gate.
Is that a proper establishment? Or is it-
It is a tavern and an inn.
Red Rock's just a tavern.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the inns in town are Dagger Reforged and Tetchford Arms.
Oh, right. I thought it was both. That's my bad.
I was just wondering if I have to watch my back when I go there, or if it's.
It's a very nice place.
It is a very nice place.
I think you all look like you can handle yourselves, but our constabulary does he kind of thinks about what he's about to say. Does a nice job of keeping crime to a minimum, I suppose. but you'll not find any establishments in Dagger Falls to be overtly dangerous. It's not to say things couldn't happen, but it doesn't happen often.
Now, do you know of anyone else in the area that has a similar collection to yours, my lord? Is it possible that that people are going around to anybody that has a collection like this and trying to forge out these references?
I suppose anything's possible, really. I don't know. I mean, there's quite a collection of both arcane and historic and things and tomes down in Shadowdale with Elminster. But, this is just a small library by most standards, and he kind of looks over at Algernon. I could see it right away. He recognized that. This, we're just out here on the edge of the wild.
Would Elminster's collection be the closest one that would be of a similar size?
Oh, his is, I'm sure, I've never seen it, but I've got to believe it's much more vast than anything we've got here. I mean, you're talking Elminster.
I was kind of disappointed with the scholarship level of Daggerdale. He just is going to kind of look at Gable sternly, straight in the eye. You do not take care of knowledge. You hire people off the street who may be thieves, steal from the Lord. This is a disgrace. And then he just kind of indignantly, kind of turns his back. He's over their shit.
Okay. Gable kind of regards...
Called you out.
He regards Algernon, and he almost kind of gives him that kind of thing. Mr.
Julie's openly chuckling at this.
Algernon, is it? We don't purport to be
yes.
we don't purport to be an academic center here. We're not here for the fulfillment of great yearning of knowledge, thirst of information. This is primarily local history, regional, some regional history, which might be why those two books are here. But we don't purport to be...
Did you just admit that you only do your job for the pay? You don't really have a love for it, that you're
well,
the height of mediocrity?
most of what we do here is to scribe documents and keep records for the Dale, which we do quite well, I can assure you. And if you'd like to see, it's not very exciting, but you'll find it in good order and in excellent condition, well referenced, indexed, and organized. He says kind of smugly. This isn't a library proper for knowledge and academia and arcana. This is record keeping with some books. So I quite agree with all of you. You're not wrong. But, I don't claim to be anything other than what we are.
You betcha. You were responsible for this town and for this family and this dynasty. They may need this one day, and all we get is, I don't know. I never read it.
I'm here to tend to the business of the Dale, not to
Anybody want dinner?
not to collect arcane knowledge.
I would like to go have dinner at the tavern.
Yeah, some dinner sounds good to me. Why don't we go check out this tavern? I kind of pointedly slap Algernon on the back and kind of
Yes, let's go eat.
gear him out of
Come
the
on,
room.
Miss Penny Swoops. It's time to go eat.
This is way more interesting than food. Way.
Before you leave, he kind of steps between Gable and Algernon, like the scribes are going to have a freak out slap fight or something.
With pens.
That's right. Quills at 10 o'clock. I think that might be a good idea to head to the Red Rock there. You'll want to talk to Kesla, is the proprietor out there. She'll know anything there is to know about the goings on with those two if they've been in there.
It was Kesla.
Kesla.
Come on, Al, let's go. You can yell at him later. Food now, yelling later.
Oh, I thought he was gonna get himself a job.
Turns around and kind of like huffs at him and gives him kind of like a stink eye one last time and turns and walks away.
He
Thank
just
you. Bye.
he just stone-faced looks at you and no reaction. The Lord has a staff member show you back out to the entrance to the Lord's Keep. And you're able to make your way out of the Lord's Keep and out of the constabulary. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate into the center there, the map of Dagger Falls. The jackpot is I'm going to have to kind of describe where you're going to go because there is no good key that goes with this map. You were up in the northwest corner. You can see the map on stream. You were up in the northwest corner inside the smaller walled area. That's where the Lord's Keep is. You can make your way straight through Dagger Falls and out the east gate. And if you follow that trail or that small, just kind of a wagon-rutted road that intersects the road north of the river, if you follow that north, you can easily make your way out to the Red Rock Tavern. In fact, there's a sign pointing in that direction for it. And it has become nearly dark. It's very late twilight now on 18 Flame Rule.
So how long will it take us to get there?
Oh, just a few minutes.
All right. Well, let's go get some dinner.
If you look in Discord, thank you, Andrew, there's a map of Dagger Falls in Discord. And if you follow that road to the north, it winds around, and the Red Rock is the pair of buildings north of Dagger Falls. They're red on that map. So it's like a 5-10 minute walk up to get up there.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go have dinner, and then we can always still go back to the Minty place so I can maybe find some place to stay.
Minty.
Oh yes, the Dashford Inn. They have a mint there. They are very, very proud of it.
That's different.
It's very good.
And their bacon is very good.
So you come to the Red Rock. It's 2 stories. It's, again, as is customary here, stone and timber. Kind of the bottom, the foundation is stone and mortar, and it's a timber construction. It looks, it's kind of a salt box, very simple, just 2 stories, kind of rectangular. There's an entry door in the front, just a small covering over it. There's no real proper porch. There are windows all along the front. There looks to be a place kind of to the north of it where they might have another small business or something. Who knows? There's a couple horses and a couple mules in a cart tied outside. As you approach, the lights are on. There's a little bit of smoke wafting out of the chimney kind of at the rear of the building. Looks nice enough. Big sign, Red Rock Tavern. The one thing that I think does stand out is some of the rocks at the very top and streaked down the sides look to be charred, and the wood looks much newer than the stonework. Other than that, it looks like any old inn or any old tavern you might expect to see. It's a cloudy night. It's become humid. You can hear little peepers and little crickets and insects as you're walking along, and you approach the Red Rock Inn or Red Rock Tavern. I keep calling it the wrong thing.
Alright, yeah, I guess we go in and Calavera is gonna look for I cannot remember the name. He's gonna look for Kessela.
Yeah, so you enter. It's very earthy, very down to earth, homey without being country quaint. There's no crafts or anything along those lines, but it's comfortable. It smells good. It smells like good food. There is a hearth in the south wall, I guess the way that the place is oriented. It's all the way against the wall to the right. There are a number of tables. There's a long wooden bar. There is a female behind the bar. There's only a few people all seated at one end of the bar together, and a couple of tables have people. It's fairly quiet. And she is back behind the bar, kind of moving about rather dexterously, other than she walks a little crooked, like maybe she's got a limp. And as she comes around and looks up, "Oh, good evening. Welcome to the Red Rock. Make yourselves comfortable. I'm Kesla Fenelis, and I'll be with you shortly." And she's got a couple of mugs, tankards of what you would presume to be ale, and she's walking with a beautifully carved wooden cane that she's kind of got close to one hip, and that's kind of why she's obviously walking the way she isn't quite smooth, but you could tell she's still quite lithe and dexterous. And she takes the tankards and sets them at a table with two people, also look to be half elves, and she kind of leans on the table a little bit and talks with them as you all make your way in. Looking around the inside, it's interesting. There are these globes of light. Some look to be on the walls, on like iron sconces, and some look to be almost suspended from the ceiling, but you can't really see what they're suspended from, so you don't know if they're actually suspended. There is a nice fire going in the hearth. There's some pretty good chatter. Table closest to the hearth has probably 5-6 people around it talking. There's a table with the two half-elves and her. That's humans around the bigger table. And then there's a handful of folks, you can't really tell, their backs are to you, seated kind of around the corner at one end of the bar. She comes over. "Good evening. Welcome to the Red Rock. Y'all are new here, yeah?" She's got her hair kind of tied back. It's, let me get my right thing up here. It's kind of gingery red, more brown than red, and it's tied back loosely. Her bangs kind of sweep into her face a little bit. For if anybody's familiar with the half elven, she probably looks a little younger than middle aged. Not quite middle aged. Like I said, very lithe. She's dressed in leathers, with an apron. "So what are you here to eat? Are you here to drink? Little of both? What can I do for you?"
We'd love to get some dinner. What do you have on the menu there?
We have a nice roast duck that we're serving with a brown gravy, roast potatoes, and vegetables. We have a lovely apple cider. Mind you, it's a fermented apple cider. She kind of winks. It'll get you where you want to go. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
We also have dried meats and cheeses, and we have a lovely turtle soup. It's one of our specialties. Yeah. You'd think it would be stone soup here, being the Red Rock Tavern, but and you see the table for two kind of look over two gentlemen, and they're like,
Alvin's gonna go sit down at a table after kind of looking around, saying, I guess nobody interesting. He's just going to kind of go sit. He's still kind of mad about his encounter with the nerds at the scribing hall.
Are you with the party, or are you off in a pouty sort of huff with yourself?
No, I'm just going to go sit down. Find a table big enough for all of us, and I guess just go
Gotcha.
Sit down.
So you'll be the first one at the table. I got you.
Yeah.
Very well.
I guess as we're all kind of moving in that direction, I assume, I'll just ask. We noticed there wasn't really much alcohol being sold in town. How is it that you can sell it out here if they're not selling it in town?
She kind of looks at you funny. "No alcohol in town? That's a new thing. The Dagger Reforge, they sell fine spirits, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was just in the marketplace where we were.
Oh, yeah, no, not in the marketplace. Yep, got to have a license proper. Can't be a...
Oh.
She kind of looks around to check to see who's in. It can't be like a fly-by-night operation and sell spirits here in Dagger Falls. They watch these things closely, the constabulary does. Zal's a bit of a head case that way. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
But we've been here a long time, and we don't have too much trouble here. Not like they used to, anyway. Dagger Falls has changed over the last 50 to 100 years. We also got some...
Turtle soup.
We do have a nice turtle soup. Yeah, it's delicious. Taters in there and carrots
Where
and
are the
onions.
turtles coming from? I mean,
Well, the
that's
Tesh
a lot of
River.
turtles.
The Tesh River, of course. Surely you crossed it coming into town. You did.
But so many turtles?
Hey. Yeah.
Are you raising turtles?
No, catching them.
And what you doing with all the shells?
Without a who?
What you doing with all the shells? The turtle shells, the houses.
Oh, yeah, right. We just get rid of them.
Huh. That's kind of sad.
You want one?
I think I would just like a cheese and bread platter,
Right.
please.
We can do that. Anything to drink?
I don't want to eat turtles.
We got a couple of nice porters and stouts. Got a really nice cream stout. Comes all the way from
You have
Harrowdale.
Tea?
Yeah, oh yeah. What kind do you like?
Tea, please.
Tea, just regular tea.
Minty.
Minty? Oh, unfortunately, the place for mint is across the river there at the Teshford. Yeah. I won't even bother you with my mint tea.
Okay.
How about a nice black tea?
Well, that sounds good too.
Okay.
Thank you very much. But no turtles at our table, please.
All right. Very well.
That's what I wanted.
And no snappy turtles either.
Well, that's how you make turtle soup. Snapping turtles. She kind of smiles. Looks at you funny. You're not from here, are you?
No. No, my name is Ronvin, and this is Miss Penny Swoops, and we don't eat turtles.
You're from...
We eat
you're,
cows.
You're one of the Missile
Maybe dinosaurs?
You're one of the Mistle Dalers, aren't you? I recognize your
Yep.
language there, yeah. Well, pleased to meet you.
But-
Welcome to Daggerdale.
No turtles.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you so much.
Very well.
Cheese it is.
Cheese and bread.
From
Yep.
cows.
Yep, from cows. Yep, no turtle cheese. She kind of tries to crack wise a little bit. What else can we get? Do we need maybe a big pitcher of some ale or nice wine?
Yes, one pitcher and 6 glasses. All the liquid in the pitcher, please.
She looks at you funny, like,
Really just looks at you like,
yeah.
could you fill my glass with wine?
I would. Happy to. We have a nice house red here, if that's suits you. I mean, what else would you expect?
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Anything to eat? I got bread and cheese over here for this young lady and her sparrow.
Hi, Gisela, and Calavera. She gives a little wave.
She
Because
waves
I
at
think
you.
they have met before.
Yes. Ah, yes. You know the mint tea then. Yeah, you're staying at the Teshford. Very good. Good to see you again. Calavera,
Uh,
you're the healer, right?
Mhm.
Ah, yeah. Very nice.
Yes, I helped the traveler with the twisted ankle.
Yes,
The other
yes.
day.
Thank you for doing that.
Is he doing better? Do you know?
He's fine. Yeah, he's on his way and gone. Yeah, much better. Wasn't too severe
Okay.
after all. So
Very good.
must have been your fine tendon to him that got him on his way quickly.
I did what I could to help. Could I have the duck? I think you said.
Ah, yes. Very well. Yep. Anyone
I
else
remember
for
that
the
being very, very good. Thank
the
you. very
roast?
much.
Anyone else for the roast duck?
No, I may as well. I do not want to offend my new best friend, Ronvin, by eating turtles, so duck it is.
Very well. We also have a nice biscuits and gravy, if you like that. and lots of greens. If you like greens, we
The
can
food
make it.
here is so strange.
Oh, where are you from, there, stranger?
From Cholt. It is quite
Oh.
far and
Yes.
very
yes.
different from here.
Yes, it is. Yes, indeed.
You
It
got
is.
dinosaurs.
Yes,
They
they do.
eat pigs.
Yes, they do.
Yes, it is lovely. This is very lovely.
The
Just
food
getting
is
used to a
yes.
new place, a new food.
She looks at you knowingly. Yes, yes, I'm sure you are. Yes, quite different. What would you care to eat then, good sir, if anything?
Do you have anything spicy?
We might be able to come up with something. I have a chili that we might dish out for you if you can handle it. You're Chilton. You'll be
not
fine.
chili. Something hot. Something.
No.
Spicy. Not,
It's-
I don't want,
it's-
I do not want something cold.
It's called chili because of the pepper and the spices in it, but it's a hot soup with ground meat and beans. It's in a red sauce, quite spicy.
It's made with cows.
Yes, I will take it.
Very well.
And the stout in the big pitcher with empty
Yes.
glasses. Please.
Yes, very well. She looks at Gears, kind of. You, the quiet one. What would you like?
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't. What was that? She leans in.
Nothing. Thank you.
All right. And then you, sir. She looks over at Rue.
I'll try some of the biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy. Very nice. Good choice. All right. Very well. I'll be back shortly with your drinks and the bread and cheese, and we'll yeah, very good. Glad to have you here. Will this all be in one together, or would you each like to have a separate charge?
I will pay.
Oh, I can pay for some of it. I also have money.
No. New friends. I pay. I insist.
Algernon, my new best friend.
Thank you, Al.
She,
my pleasure. My apologies for my behavior in the library previously.
She heads off
Yeah,
behind the
coming.
bar.
He had it coming. Even I could see that he had that coming.
It's
Thought
easy.
you were
Smoking
gonna
around
get
books.
It's easy for him to pay. He can pull money right out of thin air.
Really?
So when you all first entered,
It is no different than a coin trick.
when you all first entered, you did get that sense like the whole place kind of turned around and just kind of went back to what they were doing. So, they were curious, nothing more. You're not getting too tough of a vibe here. Not too judgy. She comes back out and she's got a tray with glasses and sets them all out. Sets wine in front of Fragile. She pours out 5 tankards of the stout, and I'll refill this and bring it back. Enjoy. Cheers. And she scurries back.
Wow, to new friends.
Ah, yes. Cheers.
Post.
Prost.
So we don't need to play it out, but Fragile would ask for she would just ask for everyone's background kind of like in a friendly manner. And obviously we've kind of gone through that one already, but I'm going to be very outgoing and ask who everybody is and what they're doing in Daggerdale and what they're looking forward to about our adventure. And I'm going to be talkative.
So does
Gears as a
what does
counterpoint
Gears
will
do
be
with his,
untalkative.
what does Gears do with his drink?
No drink.
Their drink.
No drink.
He just leaves it.
Just standing there.
So, when we're looking around, does it look like some of them are particularly friendly with the people who work there? That we can tell if they're regulars?
This whole room looks like it's full of people who have been here before. She's bouncing around between your group the two half-elven gentlemen who are talking. The five top over near the hearth seems to be maybe the most festive. You hear, little snippets of storytelling type things. And then there's the group of folks seated around the corner of the bar that really look like real regulars. Like you've seen a couple of them get up and go around behind the bar and tap their own beer. It's like uber regulars kind of deal. But yeah, you don't. You appear to be the only strangers, I guess would be the word to use. There are a couple of staff members, couple of let's see, there's a half-elf male, pretty young, and a human female, also quite young, kind of bustling about, cleaning things up, bringing food out to the other patrons, that sort of thing. And finally, Kessler comes out and with two of the staff members, and they set all your food out. Larstira, the biscuits and gravy, and she points at Rue, and let's see, the bread and cheese, Jandal Grey, and she, signals towards Ronvin, and then let's see, I think everybody else here had duck, except the cloaked gentleman. He's not hungry, and so they thump all the food down. Does everything look okay? Anything else I can get for you? So glad you're here.
It all looks very good, thank you. I had a question for you, because you know the people who come in here very well, yes?
Oh, of course. Run along. She kind of looks over at Larstira and Jandal Grey and kind of shoos them off very pleasantly, almost matronly. And she kind of, as they wander off and go back into the kitchen, she kind of looks after them, smiling, and then, yes, I know, of course I know. I mean, I've been here for years. I've owned this place for, oh, golly, let's see, 50 years. Somebody roll me perception.
Just any of us?
Anybody who cares to.
I have a 21.
18.
I got
19?
a natural 1.
Ooh.
So Rue,
Totally distracted.
you're already like got gravy on your cheeks. Any facial hair has picked up some gravy. You're into the biscuits and gravy. But anybody higher than a 15 has noticed that some of the light, those globes, you would swear they're not in the same place they were when you were in here. And you would swear that some of them may have changed. Like they were all kind of fire colored, that orangish, reddish. And you would swear some of them have changed, maybe deeper or lighter. They've changed color a little bit and maybe repositioned somehow in the room. So yeah, what's your question, sweetie?
Oh, well, there were
Conwyn
some...
has no chill. She's like pointing at it. That was not there before. And
Well, they do that.
that was blue.
Hmm?
And how you do that? Can I do that?
She smiles. Oh, you noticed the lighting?
Absolutely. It's pretty.
Yes. Do you like it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking, because
It's a.
I didn't notice it was moving before.
It's just a little touch of mine, and she kind of smiles proudly. Do you think it sets an appropriate mood?
Yes, I do.
I like to move them around and sometimes put them behind people. Maybe drop one onto the table now and then. Yeah. What's that, Elgernon?
He's kind of impressed by what I would imagine is magic.
Yeah, roll me Arcana.
Oh no. A 9.
It's like really cool lights, man. No, you get the sense that clearly, there's some magical shenanigans going on here. She's got some kind of magic happening there. Yeah. She kind of smiles and she watches you knowingly, kind of like, how people that know magic know people recognizing that they know magic. She's like, oh, yeah, in the club. Yeah. So, but yeah, you could tell she's quite taken with herself for her little light show. So yes, Calavera, you were asking about.
Sorry, Miss Cal. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh no!
It is all right.
I could talk about my lights and this place all night long. And she pulls up a chair and just plops down, pours herself a stout out of Gears' empty glass. Actually, no.
But-
Greaves'
but
glass
what I
is
wanted
full, so she grabs it because he's not drinking it. Go ahead. Sorry.
What I wanted to ask you about was actually, well, I think I have another job right now. It's very confusing, but I'm just kind of going with it. But we are investigating, you remember the whole, the crime thing that happened a couple of nights ago? And
Oh,
she,
yes.
like,
Oh, yes.
lowers her voice, like she's,
Yes. Yes.
Well, we're working on that, and it turns out that the person, one of the ones, the one who got away, he and the one who didn't, they used to come here for lunch.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
We were wondering if
Tybeam
you
and
knew
Spurnick.
anything
Yeah.
about them.
Very strange that, yes, Tybeam is gone now. Dead. Hung from the gallows. Crime in Dagger Falls is not a good idea. Yes, they came here for meals quite regularly.
Was it only ever the two of them sitting together, or were they ever eating with other people?
You know, they didn't really talk. A couple of times, some of my regulars would try to strike up a conversation, and they had no interest in doing that. But there was a third person who would meet them here occasionally. Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while, though, now that you bring that up. She kind of
Who was it?
pulls at her necklace. Oh, I have no idea. I really don't know. Just occasionally they'd be in. It's a human male, very quiet, almost reminds me a little bit of your cloaked friend over here, you know, just kept to himself and had their hood up quite a lot. Didn't say anything, really. Yeah.
How long has it been since you saw them here?
Oh,
You know.
probably 3 days. They were here the day before all the ruckus.
Did you ever see this person here without those two?
Now that you mention it, she kind of takes a big swig out of her beer. No, I hadn't. Yeah, no. You know, hang on a minute. And she dashes off, just whoop, up and gone. And she, behind the bar, stops for a minute, says a few things to some of the patrons, dips into the kitchen. I don't know if anybody's watching her. I would assume you probably all are, since she just kind of jumped up and left. She brings out a couple of plates of food, scurries back in the kitchen, comes back out after probably 3 minutes, not a long time, and she puts a piece of paper on the table. Yes, this. They left this on the table one day last week. I meant to give it to him. I forgot, but now your questions just reminded me. And she pushes it over, and it's just paper. You know, it's been scribbled on there, and it looks like a list of gear, stuff one might be purchasing for an expedition, or a bit of a trip or a trek out into the wild. Like a couple pitons, small shovel, rope, a couple sacks,
Does it,
some food stuff. You know,
does
just
it match the gear? Yeah. Does it match the gear that was in the bag that we saw earlier?
yes, it does.
Okay.
I don't know if this helps, but
You
one of
also have
them.
another shopping list.
She kind of.
Like from the guard captain, that the dude had another shopping list in his pocket. Does any of them match what's on this list? You know, the guard captain gave us a list that the dude they were interrogating had it on him.
I'm sorry?
There was a list.
Salt
I
and
can.
some bone dust.
Yeah, there was. Let me. Let's see here. There was a sheaf
I don't know
of.
that I shared the list yet, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
There
I
was-
think Fertili and Gears got that, but I don't know if
Never
they
mind.
told us about it.
She's totally just eating cheese.
Yeah.
Cheese from cows, not turtles.
Turtle cheese. Yeah. She leans over to Algernon. How's that chili? You know how when you go to a Thai restaurant, they ask you like on a numeric scale, spicy, you know, how hot you want it? This is probably a good 8 out of 10. It's just
I
this,
actually made that mistake in Thailand. It was awful.
just this side of flaming. Man, it's smoking hot. How's the chili?
It is good. It is just like home. It is just like home. Thank you. Thank you so much.
She leans over to you, really close, uncomfortably so, whispers in your ear, "It's made with turtle meat." And she leans back and lifts her tankard.
Even more like home.
Shh.
Just like really doubles down on eating it now. He's thrilled.
Dear, how's your bread and cheese?
You said that was made from cows. How do I now know that my cheese is made from cows and not goats?
It's cow cheese, I promise.
Goat cheese is fine.
I promise. I just didn't want
Can't
to
trust you no more.
offend you. I can't unmake the chili with a different kind of meat. She kind of pats your hand. Very friendly lady. So any other questions? I don't know if that paper is helpful. Looks like they were going to go on a trip. They probably
Where in town would they find this type of gear? Like,
all right.
I'm assuming they were shopping here in town. Is there a place where they would have found it?
Oh, sure. Yeah, the Winding Trail, for sure. That's a really great outfitter. Asha Tanner. Her place. Yeah.
What was the name?
Asha Tanner. Yeah, she owns the Winding Trail. They all the caravans that come through. I mean, we don't get that many, but they gear up there, and man, you can get your horses shoed. You can get foodstuffs. You name it. All sorts of things.
Al's gonna kind of look at everybody. Maybe we should talk to the other bar patrons. They seem to be familiar here. They may know something.
She looks at you. I mean, you're welcome to work the room, but they don't know any more about this than any of us, I don't think. None of them are connected to. There's none of the. She looks around. None of the deputies are working or are in here tonight. They hung out more at the Dagger Reforged than they do in here. Because Terry Will is in there. He used to be constable. But, yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome. Everybody here is very friendly, yeah. They wouldn't know anything about those two fellows, though, because those two boys didn't talk to anybody in here but that one man. That's weird. I had forgotten all about him until you asked me that. The meals...
I think we should visit
Go ahead.
Asha Tanner first thing in the morning. I don't think she's going to be in her... It's after dark now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's not open unless there's some kind of an emergency, so... But you could catch her at dawn. She opens up bright and early. Shrewd businesswoman, that one.
And then after that, would we get traveling? Because if we have to go and find and catch him, then we have to actually go and find and catch him.
It's true. The longer we wait, the more distance he's putting between us.
So you're gonna go after this Spurnick fellow?
What if he hasn't left? What if he's meeting up with that other guy that we don't know? What did he look like again?
Someone probably still has that wanted poster.
No, the guy they were meeting here.
Oh, he was hooded most of the time. He was human. Nothing stood out. Kind of dark hair. Could have used a bath. There's about 90% of the people that come here. Yeah, he wouldn't.
Did he smell like anything specific? Like, did he smell like cows? Did he smell like mint? Did
Oh,
he smell like
yeah.
iron?
He smelled like dirty man.
Like dirty man.
Yeah.
Dirty man. With a beard or
No.
facial hair?
Just kind of messy, scruffy, dirty.
Mm.
Yeah.
As big as Mr. Gears over here?
No. No, he looked like he would fit right in that with the other scribes.
Did he have an accent or something? Was he from around here, or
I,
could
you
you
know,
tell
he,
that
he
he was
didn't
from a different
he didn't
Dale?
say, he didn't say much. Yeah, I didn't really hear him talk much. You know, if they were
Well, he must
talking,
have
they would.
ordered.
If they were talking, they would always get quiet, and when I would come up to the table to get their order, yeah, Spernick usually ordered for everybody. This is kind of weird now that you mention it, but you know,
No lady friends at
we
all.
we get none that I've seen. No, we get all kinds out here in the
They were
edge
here
of
for 4 months.
the wild.
It's just
Yeah.
weird.
I don't know. Takes all kinds, doesn't it? How's that roast duck,
Sure
boys,
does.
ladies?
Sure does.
Huh? Is that roast duck all right?
It's very
Oh,
good.
yeah, it's fabulous.
And it is. It's actually quite good. Out of character.
Nice
Seasoned,
crisp.
seasoned well, crisp. Vegetables, you can tell they're fresh caught as well. Yep. The stout is better than medium good. You know, it's excellent.
And I got one last question. Did the guy who showed up, did he come in on a caravan? Did he come in on a horse by himself? Was he on foot?
Oh boy. I don't ever recall seeing him on an animal or anything. I think he just came in on foot. Yeah. I'm so busy in here. I don't
His
really.
horse is hidden, or
Yeah. Yeah, you can tie anywhere. You know, there was a lot of trees and stuff around the building when you came in, so it would have been easy enough to tie off anywhere and walk up, or just walk up. If you'll excuse me, and she hops up as a group of halflings comes in, 3 of them, two ladies and a gentleman, look like maybe farmers, come in and sit at a table, and she immediately gets up and tends to them.
Well, once we're done eating, I guess this is the most what we can do today. Maybe I'm getting a little tired. It's been kind of a long day. Kind of want to go back to the Minty place with Miss Cal and go get myself a room so we can start fresh and early in the morning.
Yeah, I think we should probably start traveling because I don't think he would stay in the town because it does not make sense to stay in the town when everyone is trying to find you, I think. And we kind of have an idea of where he would go because we'd probably be going into the mountains.
He did not finish his mission, but now everybody is on high alert, so hopefully he doesn't go back and try and then really
Well, no.
destroy the books.
that'll really get Algernon on him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't want to destroy the books. It sounded like he wanted to take the books and then cover up what they were doing and why they took the books so that people wouldn't come after them.
Yeah, but if he would get like desperate because he really, really doesn't want people to know about that cult that he is in, I don't know. Culty people are weird people. But I wish we could find out more about these culty people.
And I don't know where we would find anything in town if they said it's not in that library. I don't know where we would find information in the town if it's not there already.
So how far away was the place for the culty people that the book talked about?
Oh no, that's kind of what I was hoping to find out from this Asha Tanner in the morning. I mean, we can leave now, but I was hoping maybe since she runs caravans, she might have some words of wisdom, some guidance on.
I'm pretty sure it's not she runs caravans, that she runs the store that caravans go to stock up on.
No, she would know all the good gossip.
I
But
mean,
yeah, before we do much, I do have to rest though. It was a long, long way of traveling. It's like,
Alright, so maybe we catch some sleep and then stop by Anna's on the way out in the morning and then hit the road.
let's see if we can See where we're gonna go. Yeah, and Miss Anna might not be, Mister. Who knows? They might not be happy if we show up in the middle of the night like thieves.
True.
Kessler bounces back over, noticing empty plates and mugs. Is there anything else I could bring you this evening? I hope everything was wonderful.
It was. Thank you so very much.
It was delicious. Thank you.
Very well. Well, the total is just 23 silver pieces. So however you'd like to take care of that, I'd be happy to handle that for you. Is there anything else we can do for you? You're welcome to stay and drink further, enjoy the fire.
Al kind of does this little, like, he's feeling kind of insecure with her display of magic, so he kind of does this basic, like, kind of sleight of hand thing, puts his hand over it, and then up pops 3 gold coins that he gives to her.
Wow. She
And
smiles.
gives her a little wink.
Yeah, she smiles and catches your eye. Very nice. Let me get you some change. I'll be right back. And she
Nice
bustles.
trick.
She bustles off, kind of giggling a little bit. And you can hear her humming a tune. I would say, Ronvin, you would recognize it as maybe a local folk tune of the Dales. You know, pretty common, since you're the most local.
They've been here for 4 months, and they have not made that much advances with her as Al did in 1 evening. And you guys don't tell me that's weird.
I am slightly confused over why it is important whether or not the friends are ladies or not. The friends can be either, yes?
Yes, but they were also not hitting on the other side.
Hitting
You're not-
on.
Really? Really? I'm the one who's like never been nowhere.
She's got a blank expression on her face.
You know, there's when a mommy loves a daddy very much, you know, then they talk to each other before they have a baby. And these we're not talking to any mommies or daddies.
Well, I'm not understanding why this is a concern.
Because they're being weird.
I know.
And she's just looking around like, somebody help me
Yeah.
here, please.
Little backup, please.
Before I get started with the bees and the flowers. Okay, well, it's weird. Just believe me that it's weird. It's kind of weird. Okay, time to go to bed.
So she'll come back out with your silver pieces, Eldranon, and put those in your hand. Well, I'd like to thank you and invite you back. I hope you come back and see us again. It's wonderful having you. The lights have since kind of rearranged themselves again. Different globes are different colors. Just the whole place is just this really cool vibe. Think a little bit of bohemian, down to earth, stone floor. It's just plain and simple and nice. Smells good from the food and the fire almost has a sweet smell to it, like maybe it's an applewood fire crackling away. And she bustles off back into the back of the building. Do you want to kind of cut scene to tomorrow morning? I know that like Calavera, Ronvin all have lodging arrangements. Rue and Gears have lodging, I believe, at the Dagger Reforged. Is that correct? What about Fragile and
Rue got us a
Algernon?
place.
Did you guys already get?
Rue got us. I got a place with him.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Fragile and Gears are at the Dagger Reforged. That's right. Had my people mixed up. So why don't we do this? Why don't we take a quick 5-minute break, actual human back to reality out of character break. And then when we come back, we'll just kind of cut scene, and you can start off your morning at the Winding Trail. How does that sound?
Mostly good.
Mostly good. All right. So we're going to take...
I've got a question.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
I'm going to have a question after the break that I want to ask Wiley.
Very good.
Or not Wiley, Mr. Willow.
Mr. Willow. Okay. Yep. You got it. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and cut to break, and we will be back in a mere 5 minutes. So don't go away, chat. All right, we're back. Everybody survived break. Okay, that's good news. Yeah, so we're going to cut to the next morning. It'll be 19 Flame Rule. And I think before we do that, however, Fragile, you had a question for Carrie Willow, the manager of the Dagger Reforged, correct?
Yeah. I want to talk to him yesterday when I visited. When I took Gears up to spar with me, and Gears kind of chickened out because he didn't think he could control his own strength. We got to work on that one, Gears. Anyways, Lieutenant Bulver.
Yes.
Bulver. Gave me a list that they got from one of the suspects, and said maybe you might be able to create some understanding of the list. They were trying to figure out what it meant, and so I just wanted to check with you. And I'm going to show them the list, and the list basically talks about a sheaf of vellum, a pound of chalk dust, and a leather case, and try to figure out if he knows anything about what these might be referring to.
He takes the list. Well, let me have a look at that, Miss Fragile. He kind of looks through. Well, this is strange indeed, isn't it? Chalk dust. I mean, vellum, surely they are scribes, so maybe there's something related there. Chalk dust? What on earth?
Pound of it.
That'd be a lot, wouldn't it?
It seemed like it to me.
In a leather case. I mean, it looks like it must be some kind of shopping list. I presume you could get all that over there at the Winding Trail. Miss Ashatana ought to be able to help you with that. So maybe that means they've been in there. I mean, I don't know where else y'all would get that around here in Dagger Falls anyway. You'd have to go to one of the other towns in the Dalelands or head east to find such things.
And we're heading out in the morning.
Oh, are you?
We're gonna chase down this Burnett guy.
Oh,
sounds
are
like
you?
a grand adventure. Any advice on what we would find to the east of here? Any?
Well, how far east do you think y'all are going to be going? Because there's like a minor trade road that follows the Tesh River all the way to Teshwave and on to Zenel Keep. I hope you don't mean to go all the way that far east.
How far east is that?
Well, that's going to
would
be.
that go past the Dragon Spine?
The Dragon Spine Mountains run. They kind of start about halfway between here and there, and they run north of the Tesh River, north of that minor trade route, and they around north of Zenel Keep a ways. So if you're going to the mountains, you'd probably want to head north somewhere before Teshwave if that's where you're going. But those are inhospitable lands up that way, very dangerous. A lot of humanoids, all kind of strange things. There's even thoughts that maybe some connection to the Fae are out there. And he kind of looks around a little bit.
Don't tell me you're going superstitious on me, Willow.
Well, I've been constable of this town a long time, and I've seen a lot of strange things. And I've learned
what makes life marvelous.
Well, it depends on the nature of the strange, I suppose. But I've learned to keep an eye open. So you want to set watch, be careful on the road, be careful who you talk to. The Black Network has many, many sets of eyes on the road and off the road. They'll tell you they're just a mercenary bunch and guards and on the up and up, but I know better than that. So just mind yourselves if you do head that way.
All right, and any gear I should take?
Well, I don't know how.
Special gear. I mean,
I don't know how far up in the mountains you mean to go, but you're going to need climbing gear if you mean to go way up in there. They're rugged. And they ain't called Dragon Spine just for no lack of any better name.
Okay. Well, I think, Mr. Willow, I'm going to be taking my leave of your fine establishment in the morning. And hopefully I will be back quickly.
Well, I hope
See if I can find
I
some
hope
more
so.
jobs from you.
I hope so. We'd be happy to put you to work, young lady. Kind of smiles at you. Yeah. Very well. Well, you have a good rest, and are you taking your quiet friend with you?
Assuming he wants to go, yeah.
Very well. Well, you travel safely, and I hope to see you again very soon back here in the Dagger Reforged.
Outstanding.
All right, so
All right,
you
that was all I had.
yeah, so you go ahead and go up to your room. I assume Gears, you're probably already in your room. The rest of you crossed the river and headed to the Teshford Inn, which is along the trail that leads south over the river. And you have no problem getting a room for Ronvin and bunking down. And so we're going to cut scene to the following morning. Yes.
Hey, one thing, when either when I go into the inn or when we leave in the morning, is the bakery open? Either
Oh yeah.
time?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Do I see Din around?
Hustling and bustling.
I would just kind of try to catch her eye
Okay.
as heading in.
Yep. She's in there. She's working, but are you talking about the evening before bed, you mean?
Yeah, if it's
Okay.
still open.
Yeah, she's not open,
yeah.
but she's in there working, probably getting things ready, getting doughs proofing and things for the morning. And she's in there in a cloud of flour, doing her thing.
Yeah, I won't necessarily approach her, but I'll just kind of catch her eye so she knows that I'm there.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
she wants to have a conversation.
Yeah. She seems to be pretty busy, in and out and moving around, but she kind of waves and smiles and recognizes you, gives you a knowing glance, recognizes you from your cupcake encounter earlier in the day.
All right, I'll leave it at that then.
Very good. Okay. So you all want to just cut scene to meeting up at the Winding Trail, looking for one Asha Tanner. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. You awaken, get yourselves checked out of your various lodgings for the evening, and you step outside, and you're greeted with a blustery, cool, rainy day. Looks like sometime during the night rain set in. Clouds are very low and heavy. It's just gloom. The river seems to be running with a little more vigor than it had been the night before. The falls, you can even hear the falls roaring upstream to the west. You can see there on the map kind of where they pool. The Teshford Inn, for those of you in chat, is along the trail that's south of the Tesh River. You see a couple of buildings there. That whole open area to the north of that is a big, sweeping, beautiful mint field of mint, and it smells wonderful with the rain. So anybody that's at the Teshford is getting a full frontal blast of wet mint. All the plant life is kind of hanging down, and it's a gloomy, drizzly, light rain start to the day. But you all find your way amidst the puddles and the mud that's formed in the roads. And the Winding Trail Outfitter, the caravan supplier, is actually on the map. If you look just east of the town itself, the trade road that heads to the east, that corner where the road goes north, that northeast corner, that's the Winding Trail, that building that's there. And you can you can head on in. Your boots are wet, but the floors are wood and they look like they've been heavily trod. You're not going to make any bigger of a mess than they've ever seen as you step inside. And it has that smell of old hardware when you enter. You know, you can see gear, metal pieces, bits, bridle pieces, fastener type, like nails, pitons, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, like for climbing, rope, harnesses, all manner of saddlery, tack and harness, everything. Even some, in one corner you'll see like pieces of, like there's maybe a couple of breastplates, chain shirt for armor, leather armor, things of that nature, all kind of supplies, gear, and it just smells, and the floors even kind of creak, kind of like that old-fashioned downtown, small-town hardware store, if anybody's been in that, kind of an arrangement. And you walk in, and the place is bustling. You see that there are a couple of caravans already on the east side of the building, kind of pulled off the road. There are teamsters and stable boys tending a stone top on it, and you'll see there a female at the counter, kind of arguing with what's probably the lead teamster from one of the caravans. So yeah, that's what you see and hear when you come in. And she's female, looks to be probably mid to late 30s, wearing very nice leather armor. She has a rapier at her side. She has a cloak kind of laying over a damp cloak laying over the counter that you would assume to be hers. She has kind of a lightish blonde hair. It's not tied back. It's just kind of hanging damp. She's kind of sweeping it back as she's conversing with this dwarven teamster. And she looks up and catches your eye and kind of waves you off for a minute while she finishes up. So what would y'all like to do?
Stick around for chalk dust.
Oh, do we know about that yet?
See, I am
tell us?
always thinking I'm there when I'm not there. I totally have a spy bird. Nope, probably just looking around and being touristy then.
I'm gonna straight up ask her about chalk dust.
Okay. She's pretty well built, probably 5'10", 155, looks very fit. Again, mid-30s at the oldest. She's got, again, this kind of light brown, darkish, blondish hair, kind of falling about her shoulders. Looks like very well traveled, very sure of herself. And she kind of cocks her head as the dwarf walks away grumbling and kind of slams her hand on the stone. All right, what can I do for you?
Well, we're doing some investigating.
Right.
And I was wondering if you've had anybody come through here and buy a pound of chalk recently. Chalk dust at that.
Chalk dust. Hang on. She starts looking through some papers, and she pulls out a ledger, like a leather-bound book ledger, and starts going through it. Yeah. Last week, pound of chalk dust. Yeah, had a fella in here.
Didn't give you a name by any chance, did you?
No, didn't say much.
Hood up, kind of scruffy looking.
No, no hood. No hood.
Scruffy?
Kind of bookwormy. Now that I think about it.
Kind of book. How old was this person?
Oh, tough saying. Not old. Not an old man by any stretch, but seemed a little out of place.
Do we ever get physical descriptions for
You have
Sonic?
you have an artist's rendering on a wanted handbill of Spurnick.
Okay, so we can show them that.
Oh. So Gary's gonna come up and.
Yours is silent.
Okay, well, I'll show her the photo of or the drawing of Spurnick.
She looks at it. Well, the ears ain't right, but boy, that looks a lot like him. Yeah, this is one of them guys that with the guy that got hanged, right?
Yep.
Broke into the Lord's Keep, I understand. Yeah, not a good move. Not around here.
Any idea what a pound of chalk dust would be used for?
Oh, sure, yeah. You use it on your hands when you're climbing. Yeah, he's probably doing some mountaineering. He bought a bunch of gear. Yeah. In fact, okay, hang on a minute. And she goes under the counter, and kind of she's papers and stuff. A couple things fall on the floor, and she kind of curses a little bit. Ah, dang it! I know it's here. Feckin' thing. Damn it! Where is it?
Please tell me you got a
Okay.
map for me.
They bought some vellum, chalk dust, and this like a scroll case, waterproof, made of leather. Yeah, and this guy, I thought it was weird. He like something spooked him. He paid and got out of here, but he left this, and she hands you like a notebook type thing.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna investigate that.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a loose sheaf of papers that's kind of bound with some twine at the top to kind of keep them all together. And you start to leaf through it. Most of the pages are blank. A couple pages have been ripped out. One partially. But the last page, if you get back there and you look, and there's this looks like a kind of a map has been drawn in there, drawn rather crudely, and you can see on the map Dagger Falls and the Tesh River, and it heads east from Dagger Falls, and it indicates the Dragonspire Mountains. And it kind of it points to a location in the western foothills of the Dragonspur Mountains. It's kind of circled. Little, tick marks, something indicating that region. Even indicates
So
it
I'm gonna
shows
share all this.
shows the river, shows the trade route, and it shows even like a smaller, roughly sketched route heading north up into the foothills of the Dragon Spine.
So I'm going to share all this with the group, but I'm going to be like, I totally forgot that when I went with my new best friend Gears and we were going to spar, we were just going to practice that. I actually had a piece of information dropped in my lap, and I forgot to share it with the group. And then I remembered last night, and then I asked Mr. Willow, and because Mr. Willow used to be the constabulary around here, and he really didn't tell me much except to come here and ask about it. And I forgot to tell you I was going to ask about it until I just asked about it. Now that you know that I asked about it, this lady gave me this notebook, and there is a map in the back. But I've never been east of here. Well, not this way east of here. So I don't know. You guys have any? It says we need to go to. Whoever this was going somewhere in the foothills of the Dragonspire Mountains.
Well, that is where they said in the one book, isn't that where they said that the circle of stones was, maybe?
Okay.
She interrupts you. Yo, you there? That notebook, you're going to use that to try and find this fella?
Well, if I can't find a better map, that's kind of my thought.
Okay, well, here's what you need to do. You can tell this gal has no problem commanding a room and dealing with people. You make sure you tell the Lord, and she kind of rolls her eyes a little bit, who got you that map? And then she goes back to what she's doing.
We'll make sure a word gets put in for you. Speaking of maps, you wouldn't have a better map of east of here, would you?
Oh, sure, yeah. Let me, hang on a minute. And she stumbles off into the back, kind of muttering to herself, and she kind of pulls one of the, she's got a couple of halfling youngsters, and she grabs one by the ear and pulls him along with her as he kind of squeals and, protests mildly and follows along. And his companion, both staff members, obviously, maybe stock boys or something, kind of laughs. And she turns around and looks at him quite severely, and he gets real quiet and follows into the back. And she disappears from view and, assuming, earshot. I assume, did all of you go into the winding trail?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
So I just tried to find a place away from as many prying ears as I can, except for apparently ashes, so we can discuss it. So do we just want to head east? Is that what you guys want to do?
I think that we are
You
trying
need
to.
climbing gear too, if they needed climbing gear. I mean, they're very clearly going somewhere where they need to climb.
Yeah, it seems like we ought to get everything that they got.
Maybe we can get the Lord to pay for it?
I like this idea.
Maybe he already has some of that. Maybe he just needs to give it to us.
Well, he doesn't seem like the kind of person who would do any climbing.
Yeah, but he got to keep. He might have a supply room somewhere.
He might have the gear and never use it, like his folks.
Nice.
That was fabulous.
She comes out of the back. Here. She has a vellum case. Takes the top off. Dumps out a rolled up piece of paper. Unfurls it and slaps it out on the counter. Kind of smooths it all out. It's a little crinkly and maybe a little bit stained. But she gives you that, and you'll see it after the delay on stream. I'm also going to post it in the Discord. But it's a very nice map of the area, the kind of the Moonsea area, and you'll see to the very west. You'll see Dagger Falls, the River Tesh as it flows into the Moonsea, and you'll see the little dotted trade road, and you'll see west of the Dragonspine Mountains. Those, that's where the foothills are, and that's when you compare the map that you see in the notebook to this map. Where you see see where the word Teshwave is written on this map? That's the area indicated on Spurnick's map.
I haven't seen it come up yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen the map yet.
On the stream?
Yep.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yep.
Wait.
I'm dropping it into Discord right now.
Yeah, it just went black.
Oh.
Yeah, should be up. Okay, it's in Discord as well. So I should have put it in Discord first. Okay, so you've got a nice map, what appears to be officially, drawn and mapped out, and then you've got this crude map that was in this notebook that apparently Spurnick had left in a hurry from the. From the outfitter.
Okay.
So does that help you?
Yeah.
Good. That map there's 2 gold.
since um, Al got the dinner last night, I'll take care of the map.
No, my friend, it is no trouble. Does this little thing again. Boom. 2 gold and hands it to the girl and gives her a little wink and a quick little spark out of his hand.
Her eyes
now-
narrow, and she's checking these coins out big time.
See, Miss Cat, that's what I'm talking about. That's normal behavior.
He gave her money. It is normal behavior. This is how you purchase things.
Didn't you see the way he looked at her and smiled at her?
Why is this important?
I'll keep trying. Okay.
Do you think? And she'll go and she'll talk to, what was her name?
Asha Tanner. Yeah.
Could we also? How much would it be to get similar equipment? If you're to make the same kind of travel.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so let me look in the ledger here. It looks like he spent 13 gold on gear.
That is a lot of money.
But this is
And that's
this
for
is
one person.
this is over the past week. Well, he said he had 2 people. He needed gear for 2 people, and he wasn't sure if he was going to be climbing into the mountains or not. So he wanted to have some gear with him for that, but yeah. And that was last week when he bought all that gear. These other 3 items, these were just a couple days ago, and man, he was in and out of here in a hurry.
So the third person was not going to go with him if there's only 2. Just talking to myself. Ignore me.
So it would be expensive for us to get climbing gear. That's me saying that. That's not Calavera. I'm trying to think about how much money I have.
Well, now this here investigation that we're doing, this is direct work that we're taking on for Lord Camaro. Is this something that you could just send a bill up to the keep?
She kind of looks at you. I think I'd need a writ from the Lord Cormero, just to be on the safe side, since I've never seen any of you before. Yeah,
That's
pretty
fair.
sure.
No, that is fair.
But yeah, we do that. He keeps a running total here. Yeah.
Al's gonna kind of run outside real quick. I have a scroll that I'm gonna write really quickly on, like as best I could kind of fake a writ. And then at the bottom, using prestidigitation, I'm gonna put on the official seal
Okay.
of the city or the Lord.
Yep.
And then kind of look it over and run back inside and hand it to him. Yes, I was managed to get this from the Lord before we left, just in case of something like this.
Roll me deception. She kind of looks at you, her eyes narrow.
It's good that we have a whole pool of +2s.
You do. You have 5 plus 2s, and a D20 reroll. A lot of that stuff thanks to Mr. Cranio Dad. What was that? An 18?
18.
Yeah. Here, let me see that. She takes it from you and looks at it very carefully and turns it over. Okay. All right. Well, just tell I'll send out a couple of my men and they'll load you up. You have horses out front, or are you pulling a wagon? What do you got?
We are going on. Do any of you have horses?
Can we charge them to his lordship?
Well-
you sell these kinds of things, or could arrange a caravan that we could
Well,
also
what-
pay with this tab.
But if we are going up a mountain with horses, do well with that.
I mean, you
How far
don't
is
you
it?
don't need horses for all the gear. You could certainly split it, and carry it
We could,
amongst yourselves. That'd be okay.
or we could just get a one horse or a pack mule to carry the extra gear.
Or we can, but then we have to bring the horse with us or pack mule up the mountain.
Not all the way.
We are not leaving it behind.
We just
We're
find a
setting
nice
it free.
Yeah.
She's just watching you all like, oh my
I mean-
god.
Let's just walk. Because don't we kind of want to save the Lord some money?
He,
I don't know. I
I
never.
mean, he's already gonna look at that bill, isn't he?
he has entrusted us to solve a problem. We are solving the problem.
I don't think that we need the extra horses to solve the problem, though.
We got
Very
gear. He's tall. He's strong. Doesn't talk a lot. Gear. Could you carry a whole bunch of stuff?
We can also carry ourselves. I don't understand why this is a problem. You have backpacks.
Called you out, didn't she?
Very well.
A half orc comes out in typical what you'd expect, like a wool tunic and breeches, work clothes, and apron. Yes. What do we need to get together for you?
Oh, what? Now, this is me personally who doesn't know what kind of gear we would need to climb up to do mountain climbing.
What's on the ledger?
Yeah, she shows him the ledger.
I have a +5 to survival, so Calavera might know, but I do not.
She shows this fellow the ledger. Hook these people up with this gear here. We're going to put it on a tab to Lord Cormeril, so keep very good notes on this, and we'll get it in the ledger, and we'll send a runner with the bill. He's like, yes, ma'am. And he starts putting together all the items you're going to need. You know, it's mostly rope and ways to connect each other. He's put 6 climbing harnesses in case you have to scale anything, pretty serious. Some couple hammers and some pitons and crampons.
I'm gonna like whisper. Do you have a book on how this stuff works?
She just looks at you. I think you're going to need more than a book. Do any of you climb? She looks at the group.
Would Calavera know how to do this? It's like she has proficiency in survival.
Well, what the skill that you're looking at here is mountaineering.
It's good.
So,
Oh,
like
I
you
don't
could
have that.
you could probably survive in the mountains, but I don't know if you could climb.
But not necessarily climb a mountain.
Yeah. Like I used to be an adult leader of a Boy Scout troop, and I couldn't climb a frickin' mountain, but I could make fire out of almost nothing. That kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. Nope.
She kind of looks painful. Let me see that map. The map that was in that notebook. She looks at Fragile.
Sorry, I missed that. I was typing in.
She says, "Let me see that map. Does it show where he's going?"
And I point out the spot on the western foothills.
Yeah. See, it doesn't even look like he's going up into the mountains. So I don't think you need to worry about scaling
You don't think?
cliff faces.
Well,
If you
how
get
about
in-
we
if
just
you-
take one set with us.
If you get into anything steep, use these, and she shows you the pitons, and you can pound these into the rock with the hammer. and you can put a crampon on there, and you can connect your rope to it, and use that as a way to connect your rope to the rock face and pull yourselves up if you need to. But you shouldn't get into that kind of climate. That's what the chalk dust is for. Helps you keep dry hands so the rope doesn't slip. And you should each have a good pair of leather gloves. Make sure they get leather climbing gloves. She looks at the half-orc, and he's holding them up. Already got them. Do you need provisions? You're
I'm
probably
good.
4.5 days, 4 days give or take, from that end of the mountains.
I know it's enough for me.
Ditto.
She looks at Rue and Ronvin, Elgernon.
Who checks his
Gears.
inventory?
Yeah, I should have enough to get there and back. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Everybody has water skins. Some kind of bedrolls. You feel like she's kind of simplified this down to like a scout outing with first timers. You know, she's kind of running through the checklist.
A bedroll would be nice.
Okay. Half-orc kind of nods. So after about 40 minutes of gathering up gear, Glink comes out with some packs and starts handing them out, and you hear metal clinking, and you know they're pretty full packs. Nothing too cumbersome. You're not going to become encumbered. We'll run the cost of this up to the Lord's Keep. It's rugged
If
terrain.
we do not use... Oh, I'm sorry. If we do not use it, is it possible that we could end up returning it?
Oh, I'd buy gear back
In
for
case
sure.
we do not have to do the
Yeah.
picking.
If it's in good
Okay.
shape, yeah, we could buy gear back. Oh yeah, it's no problem. If it's unused, we'll just take it back and take that off the tab. That's fine.
Oh, thank you.
That's
I was also wondering if I personally could... I was
Mhm.
also wondering if I personally could just buy a cloak for outside, because it is wet outside and I do not have one.
sure.
And I can buy that myself.
Yes, that's 8 silver for the cloak. She takes you over to an area. Just
Yeah.
you can pick anything out of here. It'll be 8 silver pieces on the cloak. Mind you all have good weapons. It's inhospitable country, especially once you head north off the trade road. You know that, right? This isn't like a picnic
I will
trip you're on.
definitely buy something warm.
This isn't a picnic you're going on. She kind of looks. She's now become very concerned following the climbing discussion. A little concerned. You sure you're up for this?
We got this. That's no problem. I guess I will also buy maybe 6 days of rations.
Okay. Yeah, and you're talking 4 silver per day, so 24 silver.
Whoa. Oh.
These
yeah,
are-
okay. Sorry, I was
these
thinking
are-
gold.
Yeah, these are preserved. Good stuff. Okay, so it takes you all about an hour to get equipped and ready to go. Glink gets you set up, and everything is packed up, ready to go.
All right, let's get on the road
Yeah.
before we get distracted.
Well,
Come
Good
on,
luck.
Miss Penny Swoops, let's go explore.
good luck. We'll let the Lord know you're on your way.
Of course. Thank you very much.
I guess we got
Okay.
it.
So you guys are outside. It's raining a bit. It's still pretty gloomy. It's mid morning, say maybe 9 o'clock. I'm going to say it occurs to someone that no one has negotiated anything with the Lord, like officially, like we're going to go do this thing for you type conversation. Like right now you're looking around Dagger Falls, but that's as far as it went with him.
Yeah. We also totally took advantage with a writ that's totally not real. So maybe we should talk to him before he gets the bill? Or we gotta leave before he gets the bill. Yeah. Yeah.
That was a fake?
There's only one person who knows it was a fake. That's the one who made it.
Well, since he was with us in the library and he never left us, when would he have gotten the writ? I did not see him getting a writ.
I wasn't with you guys in the library.
Uh-huh.
It's like Clue, Mrs. White in the library with the lead pipe.
Uh-huh. Because Ron was like, there was no writ. That's why she was like, I think we should go before somebody distracts us. Because that bill's going up there and nobody asked him for nothing.
Okay, so you're going to head back to the Lord's Keep?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. Yeah, so you make your way back through the East Gate, the now soggy... today it's King's retinue that are at the gate. They're wearing the livery, the heraldry of Dagger Falls, a little bit different color tabard, not wearing the gear of the constabulary. And they just nod as you enter, and you make your way through, and it's, there's fewer people out. It's just a kind of a mucky, gross, chilly, windy, rainy morning. You try to find your way around the bigger puddles, that sort of thing, and you come to the constabulary barracks. And they show you up to the Lord's Keep once you explain to them what you're doing. And you have no trouble meeting with you meet with Gable at the kind of the main service area, if you will, like the government office side of the keep that the public would deal with when they come to see and take care of business. And he regards you smoking his pipe. Good morning. I can see you've already been out quite a bit. Lovely day. Yes. What can we do for you?
Hello, Mr. Gable. We found some clues that are going to take us out of town, and that would say we need climbing gear. So we went and we picked it up, and we put it on the Lord's tab.
I see. How did you manage that? He kind of looks over at Algernon.
Al has the nicest smile.
Because I know that
They
Tasha...
just believed us.
If I may be ignorant of the law, but without a royal seal, it
Yes.
is just a letter. I
Asha
assure you.
would not
No
accept
letter with a
anything
royal seal
but a
exists.
writ, and he starts smiling at you. And I'm sure you've taken care of that in your learned ways. Well, just so happens, the Lord has authorized me
Ready to
to...
go.
Yes, I see what you did there. Yes, kind of snorts. The Lord has authorized me to the following terms with you. Thankfully, you guessed correctly, and he will happily equip your group for whatever you need in order to track down this scoundrel, bring him to justice, that he might swing on the gallows with his friend Tybeen. He will offer you 50 gold for bringing Spurnick back to Dagger Falls, and he'll pay you an additional...
Each?
That's total. He will pay you an additional 100 gold if you bring back any other books or tomes he may have stolen. I don't know that there are any, but if that's the case. Should any of you come to an untimely end, and he kind of pulls out this, document, the town of Dagger Falls will compensate you for your arrangements, pending notifying next of kin. And the Lord Cormeril, while he is not here to thank you himself, wishes me to extend you his deepest gratitude for looking into this on behalf of the Lord's Keep and the people of Daggerdale. Anything that you find along the way would be yours to keep.
Except the tomes.
Yes, of course, except the tomes.
Only if they're stolen. Only if they're stolen.
Well, yes. Anything else? If you find anything that belongs in the Lord's library, then obviously he will happily pay you for that, for the safe return of those items. But beyond that, any treasures or any items or things that you may find, feel free to keep those.
Now, what would you think about possibly adding on a book or two from that there fancy library as part of the reward if we manage to bring this guy back to town? For my buddy Al here.
Thank you.
Do you have a book in mind, sir? Kind of stiffens.
Anything by Elminster or any notable wizard of the region?
Let me say this. I'll have to see what the Lord wishes. But given your propensity for information and your zeal for learning and knowledge, I will present your wishes to him. Perhaps something of the history of Dagger Falls to remember your time here might be interesting. It is quite a place, Dagger Falls, with a rich history. Not always good. Not always.
You are most gracious. And he takes like a deep bow.
I will see what the Lord has that he might offer you.
Very well. We can always negotiate that portion of the arrangement afterwards.
Yes. Yes, as I mentioned, Lord Cormeril is already away and unable to tend to this directly.
So if we needed a horse to speed up our travels, we can requisition one.
A horse for each of you? Or a horse to take with you to carry a burden of gear?
Yes.
I think, given the nature of your journey, you should probably remain on foot so that you can be ever vigilant and look for clues and signs of his passing. Something that would be more easily missed on the back of a steed. Don't you?
Okay. So we should get one for the gear then.
By all means.
Sweet.
We're gonna kill that horse. There's no way that horse makes it back.
Every horse in D&D ever.
Horse
Right.
makes a fine meal though.
I feel like maybe Ronvin's gonna state an objection to that.
It's just like cow except taller.
So,
No.
your business, with Gable concluded at the chief scribe's office, you're able to set away on your journey, stopping at the winding trail to get yourselves. Do you want a mule? Do you want a horse? Do you want a donkey?
I would probably, honestly, I would talk to my survivalist, and I'm assuming she would say donkeys are more sure-footed than horses.
But that's survival. Didn't Robin live on a farm? No.
In Shavonport, but the donkey should be sturdier. We don't really need a horse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Califera has no idea about this.
I mean, and horses get sick a lot easier, and they hurt themselves a lot easier than mules or
Yeah.
donkeys.
So you can get yourselves a a donkey and get on the road.
Yeah, we totally didn't ask.
Barely midday, and the sun starts to peek behind some of the heavier clouds that have moved off, and there are some tears in the thick ceiling of precipitation that begin to allow the sun to shine through, and steam, the more and more sun breaks through, and as the clouds break up, the steam kind of rises from the road as you make your way east along the river Tesh. And as you leave Dagger Falls, you're maybe 100 to 200 yards in just to the north side of the river. It's fairly stony in places. There's some deeper pools, there's some bigger rocks. And it's as soon as you get out of Dagger Falls, it's quiet. It's still, other than everything dripping and squishing beneath the feet of your pack animal named Clover. The road is wet, it's rutted, so footing is already a little bit of an issue. I wouldn't say you're in difficult terrain, it's just not the quick, dry, fast track you would have preferred. You're in grasses mostly, little small hillocks, little copses of trees. The birds have kind of returned from wherever they go when it rains and is miserable, and it's actually warming up nicely with the sun out. It's going to take you, estimating, maybe 4 days, 4.5 days to get to that end of the Dragon Spine Mountains. You can go about 24 miles a day, and it's almost 100 miles off based on the maps you're looking at. So, anything you want to do while you're on the road?
I will groom Clover every day.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna kind of fast track this a little bit in that your first afternoon, you're not that far from Dagger Falls. It's rather uneventful. You've passed a few farmers heading into town. You've passed a few farms on either side of the Tesh River in the grasslands. You see goats, sheep, a few cows grazing, a few horses in paddocks. But the further you get away from Dagger Falls, the more sparse the farms and homes become. You can see off to the northwest as you're leaving Dagger Falls, the border forest, very dark, the eaves of the wood very dark in the distance. And there's not a lot of trees out here. They come in small clumps, usually maybe a little stream or tributary off the river. There's trees on either side of it. But it's kind of out in the open and grassy out here. And you make your way fairly uneventfully into the evening. You're probably thinking at this point, twilight is coming upon you. You're probably thinking it might not be a bad time to stop and have dinner and maybe pick a camping site for the evening. So what would y'all like to do?
So, Miss Cal, where would you think we should make camp?
Well, we should kind of look around. Is there anywhere that seems like it would be a good spot for us?
Yeah, knowing what you know, roll me a survival.
Anywhere nearby?
Yeah, roll me a survival.
Okay.
And I'm going to have you roll it with advantage because this terrain here is easily read. And is one of you keeping...
Oh, that advantage?
Yeah, roll at advantage.
Go on. Yep. That gives me a nat 20 for a 25.
Okay, excellent. So you know right away that if you can find some cover, like trees, and something with a little higher ground that's, easily, put out for sleeping and a good safe place for a fire, and that's kind of what you're looking for. And it doesn't take you long. It doesn't even get dark before you find such a location. It's a kind of a stand of trees. I wouldn't say it's a woods quite. It's not like a whole country lot, but a small stand of trees. There's some rocks, and it's up above the trade road that you're on. And when I say trade road for the purpose of this little trip, this isn't a major thoroughfare, right? Hard packed clay soil with gravel or whatever. This is more of a wagon rut. 2 carts could pass kind of barely. It's not a main thoroughfare. But yeah, maybe 100 yards above, you find a very suitable place. There's enough rocks if you want to make a fire ring. There are ample places where you could all bunk down and be kind of above your surroundings, kind of a defensible position if you
Yeah.
needed to have that. So, yeah, Calavera has no problem finding that for you. And the little peeper frogs are starting in, and the little crickets, and it's getting dark.
Well, usually I'm used to. I think this place will be big enough for all of us. This is the largest group I've had to find a place for, but I think this will work out perfectly. And yeah, she'll start setting stuff up so we can, have a fire going and everything.
Sure. Okay. You don't have any trouble,
Right,
just going to say, since you're in a stand of trees, there's plenty of dead wood down that you can locate and round up for fire.
should we take turns watching for things in the night?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Probably a good idea, yes.
Runvin volunteers for first.
Okay. Very good. So Ronvin will go first.
Should we do only one person at a time, or should we? How are we going to break this up?
I think we should do twos. If somebody falls asleep.
There's enough of us that I think that probably makes sense.
Well,
Yes.
I usually wake up very early in the morning, so I can be one of the people with the last one.
I'll take a middle shift.
I would go first with Brandon.
Okay. So Ronvin and Algernon. And then who's the next pair?
It's Fragile and whoever.
I can stay up with Virgil.
Okay. Then that leaves Gears and Calavera. If each of you take 3 hours, 2.5 hours, that would get you through a night. And that would enable everyone to benefit from a long rest. So while Ronvin and Al, you're on your watch, I presume you've all eaten. Maybe the fire's dying down. It's quiet, and it is dark. I mean, it is dark out here. You've been in town for a few days. Your eyes have grown accustomed to torchlight or oil lamps or lit interiors, and I mean, it is dark out here. It has clouded back up. It's not raining, and it's quite humid. And you, I presume, are maybe sitting on logs or rocks around the fire. Have each of you roll me perception.
$19.
19?
13.
13. Okay. So you're sitting there. I don't know if you have any RP you want to do. Or talking.
11. At some point, Fragile would probably step off into the woods, and you guys would probably hear her singing. It would sound something like this. So she would be off in the woods, and you guys would hear her singing songs to the Raven Queen. And then at some point she would return back to camp.
Okay.
during Al's shift, he's going to resummon his familiar, a black cat, to help kind of keep an eye out during the darkness of his shift.
Okay. Excellent. It is dark. Did I mention dark? It is dark. Fire's died down a little bit. You feel like maybe a roaring fire atop a hill might not be the best move at night. Kind of a beacon, so you let the fire kind of die down. And it's quiet. Sorry. Calavera. You're sleeping. You feel something on you. Does a 21 hit your armor class?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. So you feel in your shoulder a sharp pain, as feels like two stickers or two something went into your shoulder. Need you to make me a con saving throw, please.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh,
You're-
Don't forget, we got one reroll and plenty of +2s.
Yes, you have 5 +2s and a reroll, all of which can be used after you see the outcome of your d20 roll.
well, I got an 8. I rolled an 8, so that's a 7.
Okay, it's a DC 11. Okay, so you
Yeah, I'll take it.
you take 2 points of piercing damage, and then you feel this searing burn, and your arm goes numb, and your shoulder goes numb, and you take 3 more points of poison damage.
Ooh. No.
So you've taken 5 damage.
Oh. Oh no.
As you...
Do I
What's that?
do I wake up?
As your eyes kind of flutter and that you see this hulking, hairy body with... Is it 8 legs or 6 legs? I forget how many legs spiders have, but there's a big spider over you that has just taken a bite out of your shoulder. Do you make a sound?
Oh, I scream.
So, Ronvin, Algernon, Fragile, Rue, Gears, you hear Calavera shriek in the stillness of the night. And as you all look around and come to, you see these weird, shadowy, dark, almost hairy, spindly leg forms and a little clicking and clattering. And I would like the whole group to please roll initiative.
Oh, heck yeah.
I have 2 hit points.
19.
16.
13.
Who said 13, Al?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
16 for Gears.
Okay, Ronvin and Gears, what are your dexterities?
His dex bonus is +3, 16 is the dex.
What's yours, Ron?
17 is also +3.
Okay, I'll let Ron go before you since she's got the higher dex.
I've got a 21.
That's Rue. Okay, for who did I? Oh, Calavera.
I got a 4.
That seems
Well,
Narr-
it
narratively sound. So
screaming at the top of your lungs.
Fun fact, I personally consistently have awful initiative.
nice,
So this fits.
nice. I know our show's running long here. We're getting 3 hours in, but man, we haven't had any combat, so we got to do something, right? So you've got it's hard to tell because you've got saplings and bigger trees and a lot of vertical, cylindrical, shadows from the fire, and it's hard to tell how many of these things there are. Calavera, give me a nature check. And I'm going to give you an advantage on this roll because this thing is right on top of you as you try to figure out what the hell just bit you, besides, like, spider.
And I mean, I do have dark vision, so I can see.
Okay.
No, I got an 11.
Okay. It's some kind of a spider. Obviously, it's some kind of poison. You're guessing maybe a wolf spider. And it's hard to tell, everybody, how many of them there are.
And they are big?
Medium size, but for spiders, they're really big. But in scale
Yeah.
of creature sizes, they're they're medium. They're human sized. They're big.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, Rue, you're awakened to the shrieking of Calavera. I'm guessing you guys are all kind of not that far apart, like maybe 3 to 4 feet apart. And I'm picturing kind of almost a circle. And there's movement all around the group coming from the outside in. Rue, what would you like to do?
Alright, I will jump to my feet, and I imagine that my 2 short swords are right by the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Just the one short sword, and I guess I'll wield a dagger in the other hand then.
Okay.
And I will come right after the spider that is over Calavera.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to say now standing up is half move, but I'm going to say you can get to her because you all slept closely enough in this kind of ring around the fire. Ronvin and Al would be closest to the fire inside the ring of 4 sleepers. But you're easily able to get over to Calavera, and you hear and sense movement kind of to your right, like something's following you over there as you get there. But you're easily able to make a melee attack on your target.
And do you do flanking? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay, so I would try to get into a flanking position.
She's prone.
behind this thing.
Yeah, she's prone, so I don't know that really grants you what you're looking
Okay.
for, because that's more of a tactical. Hey, we're on each side.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Then I'll just chop at it.
Yeah.
That's where's my bonus? Oh, that's an 8 to hit.
An 8. Yeah, so you swing your short sword, and it's so dark, and this
Okay.
thing is darting and moving because it kind of senses you're coming, and you swing high and miss it.
Okay, and I'll make an attack with my offhand as well with the dagger.
Very good.
That's a 17 to hit.
Yeah, so you just rend this dagger right across the side of this, kind of the fat part of the spider's body, and you tear through its flesh. Give me some damage with the dagger.
For offhand attacks, I'm trying to remember. There's something we don't add,
Don't add
Are you-
damage bonus.
Don't add your damage bonus. Yep.
so it's just a flat D4.
Flat D4.
Well, that's 1 point of damage.
Okay. So you put a gash across this thing. And a little bit of this gross greenish ichor starts to run from it. And it kind of turns to regard you, as only a lovely giant spider can. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Next in line would be Fragile. You too are awoken with the screeching of Calavera.
Yeah, my
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I can do sneak attack on that.
Ah, yes.
I was thinking.
Because Calavera is within 5 feet.
Wrong in my mind.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's another 4 points of damage.
Okay. So a total of 5. Very good. All right. So you've definitely opened up a nice gash in the side of this thing. Go ahead, Fragile.
All right. I'm looking to see if there are 2 that are together at all. I'm assuming that they're all close enough that I could reach any of them and still
Oh, yeah.
attack.
Absolutely. It's hard to tell how many there are, but there's definitely one near you.
Okay. And I'd like to do a perception check. I'd like to be able to look over at Calavera and see if I can gauge just how hurt she's been.
Yeah. She has blood seeping out of a wound in her shoulder. It looks like there's 2 pierce wounds in her shoulder, and her color is already, as best you can tell, in the shadows and so forth, her color is already changing to a lighter tone.
Okay. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna go over and try to help Rue instead, because I want to make sure that we get that spider off of Calavera. Are there any spiders within 5 feet of the one that's on top of her?
Yeah. They sense an attack. They sense the blood's drawn, and they are. There's a second one that came with Rue, actually.
Okay. I'm going to charge in, and I'm going to be casting Green Flame Blade
Okay.
as I do.
So what does that look
So my
like when
attack,
Fragile
first of
does
all-
this? What does that green flame blade look like?
So if you were to look at my blade actually will temporarily glow with green flames on it. But you would probably notice a spark of energy first come from the bracelet that's on her wrist.
Okay.
So I have a 16 versus AC.
That's a hit. So your blade finds purchase.
Okay, so the one that I hit, the same one that Rue had, takes 12 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, its legs immediately curl
And
it kind of squeals. Tell me more.
And as it gets hit, green flames fly off of the blade, and 4 points of fire damage is done to the spider that is closest to it.
Nice. Okay, so this thing's legs curl as spiders are prone to doing when they die, and it just drops in a heap on top of Calavera. So Calavera, you're laying there. You get this searing pain, right? Your arm is numb below where it bit you. Your shoulder feels like it's on fire, and it's searing down. This numbness is working down your side, and then all at once, this heavy kind of, this gross hairy bag, feels like a gross bag with this sticky substance leaking out of it, with sticks sticking out of it, falls on you, and the sticks are hairy. Okay. Anything else for Geely?
No, that's all I can do.
Excellent. Very
this
good.
round. So
And one spider is smoldering nicely behind you, Rue. Ronvin, you're next in initiative order.
All right. I want to use my bonus action to turn to touch Miss Penny Swoops, because she, with the magical tinkering, it's if I touch her, she gets the 5 feet radius of light. So that the lights come up, so we can see how many spiders there are.
Okay, so you are now, your sparrow is now glowing, radiating 5 feet radius of bright light. That definitely helps. Yeah, you can see there are a total of 5 spiders, not counting the deceased spider laying on poor Calavera.
All right. How far is Calavera away from me?
I would say she's probably within 10 feet of you on the ground. If the fire is center,
because-
we'll say Calavera was north, and Fragile was east, and Rue was west, and Gears is south. And then you and Elgernon are inside of those 4 cardinal directions. So you're easily within 10 feet of Calavera.
All right, because I want to put one of my hands on her and use healing hands to give her 1 hit point.
Okay. So describe for
Do that only once
Calavera.
per long rest.
Describe for Calavera what that's like when you approach her.
So Runwin is coming towards her. Miss Penny Swoops is kind of glowing, and she's kind of coppery. So it's not really. It's more like reddish yellow light, and she comes over and her hand starts glowing in the same coppery color, and she'll put it on your hard shoulder, and and it just starts glowing, and it makes her feel a little better.
Yeah, you get a little tingling sensation in your arm where it was numb. You just feel like, okay, like my arm's still there. You know how when it falls asleep really, really bad, and it's almost painfully tingling? Yeah, that's you got that going on in your arm. Anything else you want to do there, Ronvin?
I don't think I have anything left. I used my bonus action, my action, and my movement. No,
Very
there's
good.
nothing left.
Okay. We're going to move to gears.
Gears will shoot straight up, having seen all of this take place, and immediately thrust their glaive out at the nearest spider.
Okay. Yeah, there is one approaching you easily within melee, plus the glaive has reach. And it's again, if you close your eyes and picture the fire being center, you were kind of the south sleeping body, where Fragile was the east and Rue was the west, and Calavera was the north. And then the two watchers were in the center. So you've got a spider approaching you from the south.
Okay. Let's see if we can pin it to the ground.
All right.
Oh,
Do your
natural
glaive.
20.
Very nice. So you get max damage plus your mod, then roll damage again, no mod. Nicely done.
And damage is another 7, so that's 21 points of damage.
Yeah, so describe for me how with one swing of your glaive you dispatch this giant spider.
So they were not prone, well rested. They were actually seated with the
Okay.
glaive across the lap.
Nice.
And as this action takes place, they smoothly arise in an instant, and the glaive just shoots out almost as if it had a will of its own to skewer this oncoming spider directly into the body and twist and pin it to the ground dead in one moment.
Legs up, curled,
Tracks.
crinkles, and this just gross, sticky, thick ichor runs from the huge gash you put in its abdomen. Anything else you'd like to do, Gears?
And the glaive retracts smoothly and prepares for the next opponent.
Okay. Very good. It is now the spider's turn. There are 4 of them up. One is behind Rue, was approaching as Rue made a move to help Calavera, so we'll take a bite action toward Rue. Rue, does a 19 hit your armor class? All right. That is a 2 piercing damage. Make me a DC 11 con save.
Fail.
Failed. Okay, so you've got 4 piercing. 4 poison damage coming on that. So you get this, the thing rends at your flesh, and you open up a little wound, and then all at once you see this black ichor issuing into the wound and dripping from its fangs, and man, this thing just burns. This poison just burns, and you feel stiff, and it's not really too cool. Yeah. Okay, we got one running up on Fragile. These things move quickly, and so Fragile, before you know it, you've got one on you. Does a 7 hit your armor class?
Does a what?
7?
No.
Okay.
I easily fend that off with my sword.
Okay. Gears, coming at you. How about a 21?
Oh yeah.
2 piercing. Make me a DC 11 con save, please. Versus poison.
Now resistance, does that give you advantage on the throw?
It gives you half damage. So whatever damage you take, you divide it by 2.
18.
Okay. You're good. Good news too, because I rolled really high on that there poison damage. So you took 2 piercing, you take 4 poison damage, but your resistance halves that again, so it's 2 poison.
That's total of 4 damage.
Total of 4 damage. 2 piercing, 2 poison. Okay. And then Algernon. Coming at you, sir. This thing. Yes.
Oh, they're coming at me.
Yeah. How about a 21 for you? Does that hit?
Yeah, man.
Nice. How about 4 piercing and make me a DC 11 con save as this giant spider leaps at you. Its pincers and little legs clicketing and clacketing. I am rolling some attack rolls right now.
Okay, I failed.
Ouch. You shouldn't have done that.
I'm aware.
Yeah. So, that is 3 poison damage.
Then 2 piercing.
Yep.
Ouch.
Still up?
Yes.
It's always like to ask the mage just in case.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. So this thing gets you in the meat of the top of your thigh, through your robes, everything, and you just feel the 2 fangs stick in and out, and then that you can almost feel it squirt into you. This poison, this thick, viscous, and I mean it burns like fire in your leg, and your leg automatically, just all at once starts going numb, and you're kind of wobbly a little bit, and it is your go. You have a spider right in front of you that just bit you really hard and poisoned you.
All right. Is my speed affected by this? It's just
Not yet.
I didn't like.
Nope.
Okay.
It's just you're not as feeling good as you maybe once were.
All right. I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost on the spider right in front of me.
Very well.
It's gonna be a 21 to hit.
Yes. Roll me some damage. And then describe for me what your ray of frost looks like in the the dimly lit. You're kind of at the edge of this, outside the 5 feet of bright light from the sparrow, because Ronvin went all the way to the north to see Calavera. But tell us all about your ray of frost.
He's just gonna kind of like shot put out his arm. Not really gonna see anything kind of come flying out, but like a kind of growing frost, like it forms.
Okay.
Will kind of come up the spider's legs for 2 damage, and its speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Okay.
Until the start of my next turn.
Very well. All right.
And then I'm gonna move my full 30 feet back.
Okay. That will give him an attack of opportunity if you do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does a 10 hit you?
It does not.
Okay, so you're able to move away 30 feet. Very good. Okay, and we are now to Calavera, who's been patiently waiting, lying there poisoned with a dead spider laying upon her.
Do I know if this is an ongoing poison effect?
You took poison
Does anyone
damage.
know that?
It's just straight damage.
Okay. And there's 2 left, I believe. Right?
There are 1, 2,
Killed 2 and there were
4
6.
left. 4 left. One is smoldering near you that took fire damage from Fragile, and Al has just ray of frosted one that's beside the fire. You'll have to spend half your movement getting up if you plan to stand, because you're prone with a kind of a husk of a gooey bleeding spider on top of you.
Oh yeah. So Calavera does. She shoves the spider off, and she stands up, and she's disheveled. She's having a bad wake up.
Right? Yeah.
And what she's going to do is, how many are hurt? Is it just
2 have taken
I know one of
damage.
them got ray of frost.
Yeah, 2 of them have taken minimal damage. The other 2 are A-okay. One is on Gears. One is on Fragile and Rue. One was on Algernon. and the other one is headed toward Gears.
She's going to go to one of the ones that she's going to I think I'm going to do a produce flame,
Okay.
and I think I'm gonna throw it at one of the ones that's already hurt.
Okay. There's one near
I don't know
you.
if there's
You have you, Fragile, Ronvin are all kind of together there, and there's one that has already taken some fire damage that you could hit. That's the closest one.
I'm not in melee with it, am I?
What's that?
I'm not in melee with that one, am I?
No, it's on the other side of Rue and Fragile.
Okay, yeah. So then, like, Calavera, she scrambles up to her feet, and as she does this, like this is really frantic movement. Like her hairs come loose, and like as it's disturbed, you know how when you have like a wood or like embers that have been burning for a while, and so they kind of have like a coat of ash on them, and then you blow on them,
Yeah.
and like it kind of like the light like sparks back up. That's what her hair ends up doing. It's been like that the whole time, but she hasn't, you know, been in a panic like this.
Yeah.
And she goes and she like pulls her hand back, and a light, like a small like flame, flares up in it, and it like lights up the side of her face as she does, and you can see like with her hair like in disarray and pushed back that her one eye that's always covered up has like this milky sheen to it, kind of like a cataract. And then she's going to lob this at that spider.
Okay.
And so that is a roll to hit, I believe. There's a 4.
Yeah, so
I
you're
think that's a ranged.
yeah, it's a ranged attack, so you'd add your dex bonus to it.
Does a. Is it a dex or is it a ranged spell attack?
Or actually, yeah, it'd be your spell attack bonus. I apologize. You're right.
Yeah,
I heard ranged.
14 hit.
A 14 does hit.
Okay, that is. Give me a quick second because I forgot to look up how much damage that does again.
Does D8.
D8.
Yep.
I do not add anything to that, I believe.
Nope.
That is going to be 6 fire damage.
Okay. Tell me what it looks like when this thing expires. When you throw this, you hurl this mode of fire at it.
So she throws a flame, and it's kind of like it's a point of light that arcs through the air, and as it lands, there's kind of a moment as it like dies down a little bit, and then it bursts out and crackles, and it's just this bright orange flame that like crawls over the spider as it like curls up and dies, and then it just goes out then. It's
Nice.
just a cantrip.
Nice. So 3 spiders are down, and we are at the top of the order.
Alright, so
That's Rue.
Yeah. So Fragile and I have a spider that we're both in melee with, right?
That's the one that Calavera just torched.
Oh.
Yep. There is one in front of Gears. There is an untouched one that was kind of on the west side of the fire. I mean, all these things are within your movement to get to melee. And then there's one right near the fire that Algernon had frosted, and then Al kind of disappeared off into the darkness somewhere.
Okay. But the only one within melee of one of my friends is on Gears.
Gears has one right in front of him. Yep.
Alright, well then I will swoop in and steal his kill.
Very nice. Roll your attack, friend.
Or not.
Keep it on the list.
That is 8 to hit
Okay.
with my short sword.
That is a swing and a miss, sir. It hits the chitinous legs. No bite.
Yeah. So I will also come in with my dagger. That's a 12 to hit.
Yeah, no. 12 does not hit.
Okay.
Just
Can
the
add a plus 2 on
again
that.
the
Yeah, because she hit with a 14.
if a +2 is added to that, it would
I thought-
hit. And you have 5 of those to use.
Oh, I thought the plus 2s were for skill checks.
No. Any D20 roll aside from
Oh,
death save. So it could be skill check,
okay. Then
saving
yeah, I
throw
will-
to hit. Okay, so you're down to 4.
Okay, then I will definitely add it. Yeah. And sneak attack. So that's a total of 6 points of damage.
Okay. So Gears, you see Rue dash over very dexterously and take a swipe with his longsword and then take a slash with the dagger across the front of the spider and its militude of eyes. And he finds purchase and draws this viscousy green ichor as the spider kind of recoils, but it does not go down. Fragile, you're up.
All right. I am going to bonus action curse the one that hit Alanon. Or not Alanon. Man, that's the true Shannara series, isn't it? Algernon. So I'm going to say a prayer to the Raven Queen that my blade strikes true, and that I kill this enemy, hopefully in one swoop, and protect my casting buddy, because I'm pretty sure that Gears is probably the safest out of all of us. Looks like he could take a couple hits. Alright, so I'm gonna green flame blade again. I don't think anybody's close enough to hit him, but no, I won't green flame blade then. I'll just hit him, because the other spider is not within 5 feet of him.
Algernon has disappeared. Gears is in melee. There's another spider outside the fire ring, and there's one at the fire that Algernon had damaged.
I have a 13 versus AC.
And you're attacking the one that Algernon had hit?
Yes.
Okay, yep. That is a hit.
Alright, and I get plus. That is 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Describe for me, you get this sense of cold darkness run from your heart out your arm and into your blade, and you feel it dissipate into your blade as if the Raven Queen has answered your prayer. Describe for me how you take the spider down.
I'm charging it, and at the last second I'm dropping down on my knees and I'm coming up underneath it and just impaling it through its jaw. Its tiny little spider head.
Yeah, and it
He's
drops.
gonna drip on you.
It drops and curls.
Mm.
Anything else?
Yeah, but I'd like to make a dexterity save to make sure I don't get trapped underneath it.
Okay.
Oh, are you too good to get trapped underneath a dying spider?
He's awake.
I'm awake, exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Since you went under it, yeah.
That's a 14.
Okay, yeah. You're able to roll away as this thing drops to the ground. You do have some ichor on you. So it's, it just smells acidic. If you've got any in your mouth, it tastes a little bitter. Just nasty. Nasty. Ronvin, you're up. You're over there with Calavera.
Mm-hmm.
She has stood and slain a spider. What would you like to do?
Alright, so we should have 2 spiders left.
There are 2 spiders left. One is in melee with Gears. One is west of the fire. You are currently north of the fire. It is about 10 feet away from the fire. Easily you can get there if you wish to melee.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna throw a firebolt at it.
Okay. Yeah. Roll your attack.
22.
Yeah, that hits.
And that is 8 fire damage.
Okay. Very good.
It's
So
kind
you
of like this little mote of flame.
Okay.
It goes like, and this little mote of flame goes to the spider, and when it hits, goes
kind of explodes.
and
It-
sets the spider hair on fire.
It sizzles. Yeah, and I think Firebolt does that. Doesn't it burn anything flammable ignites? Is that Firebolt?
Yeah, it says, a flammable object hit by the spell ignites if it isn't being worn or carried.
Yeah, so like all the hairy, gross spider hair, you can hear it all sizzling off. You could smell it burning. It's nasty. Ugh. Very good. Anything else?
No, don't have any bonus action.
Okay.
Really, Cat?
Very good. Gears, you have a spider in front of you that has already been damaged.
What's it? So we have 2 damaged spiders now, right?
Yeah.
They will go from ready position to attack the one in front of them. And there we go. 17 plus
That hits.
6.
That's a lot.
A lot.
That's 23. Yeah, good, good. Where your damage?
And damage is 5 plus 4 is 9 damage.
Great. So tell me what it looks like as you end this spider that's in front of you, as it rears up and gets ready to try and bite you.
The glaive shoots out again, and this time takes it through the side, shearing off the legs and through the body, and giving it what for, as they say.
Yeah, and it just falls in a silent heap, and this black, thick, greenish, just viscous goo again starts to run and pool around it. The other spider that Ronvin just blasted with the firebolt runs off. It heads off at a high rate of speed due west down the kind of the hillock through the trees, and it's gone. I mean, this thing moves fast. Algernon, what direction did you leave the fire from? Like when you said you moved 30 feet in which direction? Calavera was to the north, Gears was to the south, east and west were unoccupied.
So I'll probably head to the south, like away from Calavera.
Okay. All right, so this thing did not run in your direction. It just escapes into the night. And all falls quiet save the crackling of the fire as you are catching your breath and surrounded by 5 dead spider corpses. Calavera, you're feeling pretty woozy, but you're up. You're okay. But you've got that burn, tingly, numb. Algernon as well took a pretty good bite. You as well are hurting a little bit.
So did I.
And Rue, did you get bit too? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. You got bit in the back there by the spider. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're out of initiative. That took what, like less than a minute for your group to dispatch 6 giant wolf spiders. And that, my friends, is where we will call this evening's game, because I promised you we wouldn't go past 11, and I see 11:00. So it is 11. Let's do this. Let's do this. Quick outros.
Perfect timing.
Ooh.
Well, I debated because we were at 3 hours, almost 3 hours, and I thought, man, we have not had any combat. So let's see what happens. So very good. Let's go around the horn here. We'll start with Calavera. Just give yourself 30-second infomercial. Where can we find you? What are you up to? That sort of thing.
Well, I'm still playing this character, which is nice. You can find me on Twitter at KeylineCutieBie. I cannot promise any good content. Usually I'm just kind of talking about different podcasts and stuff that I like, or different tabletop systems I find that are kind of neat. That's really what I got.
Cool. Very good.
Yay.
You're still alive. Still alive. And I will do this for the group. Before we take to the airwaves next week, we can cut scene to the morning. You will have all benefited from your long rest because you only farted around for a little while with this, so everybody's still going to be able to get a good 6 hours. So you'll still benefit from a long rest. Andrew.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrew, aka Fellowship of the Tables. On Twitter, I'm Fellowship OTT. You can find me bopping around Discord, pretty much.
All right, excellent. Mike, for Geely.
Yeah, I'm Mike, and you can find me, if you can find me online, I'm usually at Buckethead Clunk. I don't have a very big online footprint at the moment, mostly just playing my games, and on Twitter, but hopefully that changes now that I've been broken into the world of streaming D&D, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Awesome. Very good. Algernon.
Manny, you can find me at GrowedUpGeek on Twitter and Instagram. Obviously, you can catch me here Monday nights. And coming in 2021, hopefully a long-term streamed Eberron campaign that I will be doing.
Oh, sweet.
Keep an eye out for that.
That'll be cool. That'll be cool. Awesome. Make sure we get to promote that for you. Ronvin, Mara.
Well, here on Twitch, you can find me as Vivacia. Same for the Discord where I'm hopping around. On the Twitter, I'm Miss Vivacia. You can always see me here on Mondays with all my lovely people. On Fridays, I'm on Encounter Roleplay at 7:30 where we're playing at Spy and a Pirate Steampunky campaign. Where we still have 2 episodes left and we just faced down a vampire after facing down some other creepy shit. However, I'm alive. I didn't even get hurt today. And I hate spiders. Can I say that? I hate spiders.
Yeah, me too.
How did I get... It's like, I got so lucky that I didn't get hurt because I would have had screamed as Ronvin, I hate spiders.
Yeah, yucky. Yeah, Calavera wasn't digging that too much. That was random. There were 4 of you.
I'll take the hit for you.
There were 4 of you sleeping, and your number came up, Calavera. I'm not picking on you. Gears, Dave.
I'm Hey Wilson on Twitter, Twitch, and the Discord, and on Instagram. My interests are fairly varied, but tend to role-playing games and cartography, of all things. So
Nice.
if you're looking for anything like that, hit me up. I know a few people, but other than that, mostly I'm just here enjoying this game and live streaming with Wiley.
Hence the Pillar Compass. Yeah, nice. All right, and I am your host and DM, Wiley Hobbit. You're watching my Twitch channel, and I am so grateful. Cranio Dad, thank you for the bits tonight. Holy cow. And they definitely helped the party.
Yeah.
I know we had a +2 used. And thank you for the couple of follows we got. And thanks most of all just for hanging out in chat and engaging the party. So we play D&D 7 o'clock on Wednesdays and 1 o'clock on Sundays. All times are Eastern. I'm going to start a raid. We're going to go check out Castle Entertainment. My friend Carlos, he is a creator. He writes modules for first edition D&D set in Greyhawk. And he's got a bunch of really cool stuff in the that follow the Marquesa story if anybody's deep into Greyhawk. So we're going to go raid him. So make sure you show him some love when you get there. And thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.